feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home.
From the Storm, I think he's just been as important as any recruit has been for Eagle Hawk. And if any were to go down, or one of the brothers was to go down, if it was Cal, I think they'd miss him most. And we've sung his praises over a long period of time, Joel. So I think that just really tops off the players that Eagle Hawk have got there. And yeah, I think it's an exciting time if you're a Borough supporter.
Yeah, it's a season full of promise, that is for sure. So that game out at famous Canterbury Park this afternoon, and then out the road where Strathfield so take on Sandhurst. Part of the question of this game today, which is an absolute blockbuster, is just who's playing. And we don't know. I mean, they might know out at Tannery Lane right about now with them running out onto the ground, but it's been the big question mark with some illness going through the Storm camp is exactly who would be out there and what that Strathfield Say team would look like. Sandhurst was so impressive last week. The Storm, of course, had a pretty comfortable win over Castlemaine, but that's really the big question because they've been hitting the big man department. Tim Hosking not out there today, so Alex Powell and Jed Brereton will have to try and handle Hamish Hosking, who was so dominant last week, and Sandhurst go out there in red-hot form. It's always a tough assignment out there at Tannery Lane, but Sandhurst are pretty well placed given how they played last week in the broadcast game, John.
Hosking, I mentioned just in the pre-game earlier when we just had a brief chat about it, Winston giving his smalls just first use of the ball and his body work against the bigger players. He just can't be stopped. And it's interesting, you're a premiership coach at Harcourt, of course, the upper leaders there, Winston. When an illness does go through your club, I mean, they might be right when come Saturday, but it just upsets your momentum during the week, doesn't it? And they might be fit when they run out, but they're washed out still, and they lose a little bit of touch. So it really worries me when I see illness just going through a club like that, and I suspect that that might be, in fact, the difference that gets Sandhurst over the line.
Look, it's not ideal, is it? You know, you start seeing your phone ping as the week goes on. Oh, I'm crook coach, you know, and they start dropping like flies, and you do start to worry. If you can get the guys out on the track on a Thursday night, perhaps you know, they run any of the week's flu out. But generally speaking, yeah, it's a 10-day thing, isn't it? Generally a flu, you're never feeling 100%. So hopefully they haven't got too many blokes that are affected. But it's definitely has to take its toll on a fit team that is healthy.
Who wins out there today, gents?
Well, I'm going with the Dragons, and I know that Tardru is out and he provided that run, but they've just got a myriad of small men as well. You know, Nick Stagg coming back into that side. He was relatively quiet last week compared to other games, but he didn't have to do a lot because it was just a really strong team effort right across the field. And again, the emphasis that I put on, well, not only the big man department, Matt Thornton all of a sudden, that loosened him up a little bit as well. All of a sudden the ball was coming in, was flying in quickly, and Matt, once he clunks one or two early, he's one of those confidence players. He might have kicked, I think he ended up kicking 5 last week, and all of a sudden the potency down forward as well, and then they had Andy Collins just sniffing around. Really, really impressive. Kobe Maxted, we haven't seen the best of him this year either, so they've just got winners all over the ground in my book.
Who do you like out there when you line that one up, Winston, the Storm or Sandhurst?
Well, look, I probably hadn't, I haven't seen any club play yet this year. Obviously, Sandhurst sound like they were really on song last week. So if Strathfield say have got a little bit of a cloud of illness hanging over them, I think Sandhurst sound like they're the go. Matty Thornton obviously in a bit of good touch last week. I think I read that he kicked a few goals. He was kicking them through the middle, and at the other end I think we had Jaden Burke maybe missing a couple. So, you know, that can make the difference. You do all that hard work, you get it down to a Matt Thornton and he puts them through the middle. It makes a huge difference. So I think, yeah, look, I'd have to sort of go on form and pick Sandhurst for that one.
And our broadcast game today here on Footy Fresh of Bendigo Football Live from Wade Street It is Golden Square and South Bendigo. Both senior teams are out there. The captain's about to meet in the middle, Jack Geary and Zach Hare, to decide the toss. How do you line these two sides up, Johnny, in our broadcast game?
Well, Golden Square, if they don't come out firing like after last week's effort, they will never come out firing, because they've got the opportunity here to make amends. Put last week in the archives and not worry about it anymore. Just back into the middle here, umpire Jeff Williamson umpiring today. But when he forgive me, but he was umpiring us when we were running around playing. And
he reported me a couple of times, I reckon, which was, but lovely fella still. But.
So in with the old and in with the new. Also, Dave Carter. He's umpired a few games, but certainly at the other end of the spectrum. So we've got a relatively inexperienced umpire with a very experienced umpire.
That was 20 years ago.
Yes.
He's looking pretty fit.
Jeff
really?
Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, he's going well.
Still gets around all right, does Jeff? He's been a big part of the Bendigo Umpires Association for a long time. So just history, just for history's sake. South Bendigo's last win here at Golden Square was round 12, 2011. That was against Maryborough. The QEO was being developed that year.
Of course it was.
So the last team they beat here was Maryborough, if you can believe that. Sandhurst in the same year, incidentally, were playing home games out at Huntley. Their last win against Golden Square here was in round 2 of 2009, of course, year in which they made the grand final, these two teams. They gave Square an almighty touch-up. South won both games in 2009. Since then, it is Golden Square, 20 wins to 3 losses, and the average winning margin in the average margin in those is 44 points the way of Golden Square. History would say that South Bendigo won't win this afternoon, but this is a South Bendigo side that made finals last year, were knocked out by Golden Square in that final series, so they've got a bit of a point to prove potentially this afternoon, and it's a very different South Bendigo team from those that have come here for a number of years with Nathan Horbury leading the charge. Golden Square always tough to knock off here, though.
They are, and look, though, Compston, if you're going to look at where they probably got beaten last week, it was in the big man department. But the Bloods have got McGregor Cameron.
McGregor Cameron.
Or is it Cameron McGregor?
And I thought it was Cameron McGregor, Johnny, but it is McGregor Cameron.
We'll put him in with Leon Cooper or Cooper Leon. But
Yes.
the Bloods will kick to the Laurel Street, and they did win the toss. So Brock Harvey comes into the side as well. That could make a big difference. But I'm going for Golden Square this afternoon.
1.2 with South playing now at the Harry Trott Oval. It's a little bit more the same dimensions as the Golden Square ground. So maybe that will help them today get a bit more used to playing on a bit more of a narrower ground, unlike the QEO, which was their old home base.
So Golden Square and South Bendigo here at Wade Street. Round 4 in Bendigo footy. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live. Here's John Hunter.
At the start there was Compton that got his hands on the footy, and then it's a really rough and tough rumble in the middle for the footy. It's a little bit of volleyball. Big punch by Jack Geary forward for Golden Square in the direction of Monty, left half forward, as they track it towards the boundary line, 50 metres out, just keeping it in. And Hare needs to kill it. He tried to put it over the line. Probably didn't dispose of that footy correctly. Umpires letting it go. We're now 49 metres out. It goes over the boundary line, and it will be a ball in. So no score on the board. We've gone half a minute. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Dogs inside forward 50 to start up at the Maple Street end of the ground. A little bit of blue sky overhead. Some darker clouds out toward the city. As Compston playing game number 197 in the blue and gold. Been a fixture in this Golden Square side for such a long time against the new South player in Cameron. And Jack Geary, speaking of fixtures for Golden Square, has earned a free kick. He was taken high by Cooper Leon. And Geary's going to go back and have the first deliberate shot on goal for the game from just inside the 50.
As he has to adjust his hair, something that a couple of us probably don't have to worry too much about, but he's got that out of his eyes now.
Hasn't been a big goal kicker in recent years, just the 2 from his 21 games last season, Jack Geary, and hasn't kicked one this season. Lines them up from 45 and strikes it beautifully. Great start for the Dogs through their skipper, Jack Geary. And Golden Square on the board within a minute. 1 straight 6 to the Bloods, who are yet to score. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Wasn't ever going to be the hardest kick, but still on a bit of an angle. reasonable distance out, and that's what you expect from a player who's played as much football as he has. He had a milestone last week. I think it was the week before. He clocked up a couple of hundred, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So just experience.
Out of the middle now, umpire Williamson throws it in the air. Compton wins the tap again, spreads to the Maroney wing, and they'll come again. Golden Square, it'll be through Liam Barrett. His kick was smothered. Now South Bendigo will repel. And Hartley ended up with it for Golden Square. Handball backwards. That went to Burke, who's playing up the field a little bit. Outer side wing, Maroney wing. Now we've got a contested footy, hard up against the line. Hurried kick out of the pack. We'll go forward here for the square, but it is all with the Bloods, and it's with Isaiah Miller.
So Miller chips it across the defensive 50 and finds Van Human, who's 30 out from his defensive goal. Dangerous kick, just got over the head of Brett, found his skipper in hair for the Bloods. True centre half back, spreads it to the outer side. He was looking out there for his teammate in Walsh, who couldn't take the mark. Dogs come up with it. That was through Liam Barrett. Got it out wide to Monty. Kicks to the pocket. Brett two hands to it. Couldn't take the mark. Van Human to Hare in the back pocket for the Bloods. Kick had a little bit too much juice on it for Leon and goes out of bounds on the full. And Joel Brett, he's on the spot to take the penalty free kick from across the boundary line in the left forward pocket. He's 40 from home. He centres it up, sees the target, and Vaz is taking a good, strong mark in the goal square. In fact, it's Freckleton who's clutched onto this one. And the Dogs, from a couple of inside forward 50 entries, are going to put a couple of goals on the board early. He won't miss from the top of the square. Julie converts, and Golden Square have two within 4 minutes. Two straight 12, the Dogs yet to score the Bloods. We've played 4 minutes. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
A little bit of tall timber down there in the Golden Square forward line, so I think Freckleton there, he just stood strong. He didn't really even jump. He just stood his ground, up, big arms up in the air, and good strong hands. So that's going to be a bit of a problem, I think, if Square keep pumping the ball in as quick as they have.
At the restart, it'll be McGregor Cameron again. He tapped it on that occasion. He gave it to Horbury. Cameron then picked up the footy at his ankles. He was tackled, and we'll do it all again. Smack bang in the middle. Jack Geary getting involved early in this game, trying to make a mark on it. Cameron goes, but it was Compton for the Dogs that won the tap. He gave it to Reeves. Reeves then lost a footy. Hickman getting involved as well. They've got weight of numbers. Burke emerges on the left. He'll put Golden Square forward, 40 out from goal, but rebounding is Miller. Little give to a teammate who'll go over the top, the old 1-2. They'll bring it down the broadcast side wing. In fact, it's Van Human with the footy. He gets caught, and Joel Brett, playing up the ground, which he quite often does, has a free, quick, true centre wing position.
Right in front of our broadcast position. Brett to Burke. Burke inside the 50, onto the chest of Vaz. Couldn't take the mark. Torpy was there for the Bloods. Nervous moment. Langley had a play at it. He lost the run at the football. And then Monty dived on it at the top of the goal square. He's wrapped up in a tackle, and we'll have a ball up. True full forward for Golden Square.
So they brought, I think you mentioned before, Jaden Burke playing sort of more into the middle instead of up forward. I think maybe his lack of accuracy last week might have sort of put him into the middle a bit.
Cameron to Leon, who spiked it out of defence with a booming 60-metre kick. John Coe took it off hands. He was wrapped up with the bottom of the pack. We'll have a ball up inside the centre square. Dogs by 12 through 5.5 in the opening term.
Well, there's been a free kick in the ruck contest. Cameron, it might have been a shepherd off the ball, and it's Compton now, the big man, the ruckman for the Dogs, sends them forward again. He'll put it to the hot spot. Vaz has got front position, takes a good, strong, contested mark. Never, ever look like missing, and will line them up 35 directly in front.
Again, yeah, just a couple of tall timbers down there, aren't there? And that was a great grab. What's he? 30 out. I think we'll have a bit of a look and see how he goes. But I think he looks pretty deliberate. Certainly not looking to pass it off. So I'll say he's going to kick this.
Sun shining at Wade Street. Kicking to the Maple Street end. A rip-roaring start here. It'll be 3 in a row if he can convert. He should not miss. He stabbed at it, and commentators curse. He did miss for a minor score. That was always going to happen. 13 playing 0. We've gone 9 minutes opening term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
You've been doing this for long enough, haven't you, Johnny?
Oh,
how would I know if he was going to kick it or not? You know, he could have been the worst kick ever for all I knew.
So Torpy, the booming left footer for the Bloods, whacks it 60 metres out to half back. Burke was up in the pack, couldn't take the mark. Offhand Strosh. He fed it to Thrum, kick infield to Geary. Now he whips it across the centre square to Reeves. He shoots it further now to Barrett. Barrett pokes it inside the arc. Beautiful play from the Dogs onto the chest of Monty. And Ricky Monty's got it 45 out, 45-degree angle left of centre. He doesn't look super confident with the kick here, but he now looks like he's going to go back behind his mark and have a shot. This for 3 for the Dogs to start things off. They've been slow starters, Golden Square, in recent weeks, but not today. Monty's just grazed the post, has he, on the way through? Might have just been across the face. 2-2 Golden Square. Yet to score South Bendigo. 7.5 played opening term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Torpy, the kick in from fullback for the Bloods, goes into the back pocket, goes to Leon. Leon dishes it by hand to Van Human. He'll send it down the outer side wing, the Maroney wing. Ground level now. Numbers. Hickman, a handball received. They'll share it around. It ends up with Vaz, who's playing up the field again. They're working nicely here, the Dogs. They're looking around the umpire who's blown his whistle. It will be a free kick. Short pass for the Bloods ends up with Cody Brooks, and they'll clear it out of the defensive zone.
So the Donald product comes across to Hare. In the long sleeves this afternoon. One of a few out there. Speaking of which, Nathan Horbury's in the long sleeves. Haven't sighted him in the early stages here for the Bloods. Hasn't had his hands on the footy. Will McCaig's got it across half-back for South Bendigo. Inside the defensive 50 to Torpy. He whips his kick across the defensive arc. A bouncing ball in the back pocket in front of Van Human. Gets down low as he breaks the defensive 50. Kicks up the Peter Maroney wing. Kicks a good one as well. And he finds Leon. The Bloods finally in some space and they can possess the footy here.
Leon now. It's a low kick. He directed traffic and he's just coughed it straight up. Kicked it straight to Golden Square. Short pass received now by Thrum. Thrum playing in the back pocket at the moment. Short pass. He's got 2 to pick from. Goes to Coe. Coe now will come inboard to Reeves, who marks halfway between half-back and the centre for the Dogs, looking to build something now. Reeves on the left foot. That netball whistle just puts you off a little bit in the background. Whistle's going off everywhere. Across half-forward now. It's a long kick. It'll go inside forward 50. The kick came from Drew Barrett, his first game back for this season, but the Bloods will bring it back the other way. They'll settle, and a short pass will end up, and a mark's being taken by Brody Haddo.
Got it from Brooks. Both of them out of Donald. Haddo, of course, went back there last season after winning a couple of best and fairest for the Bloods. Leon slides in at half-back, hands it off to Miller. Now they generate some run through the middle. Poyser off to White. White kicks inside forward 50. Sets Strubens a target. The kick was pretty vicious for him in the end, and it bounces out of play. It'll be a throw in right forward pocket. Bloods into attack. They really haven't spent too much time in there so far. 10 minutes gone opening term. Square 2-2 leads South yet to score.
Yeah, they're not looking potent at the moment, the Bloods, at all. As the umpire will throw it in the ruck, it will be Compston. Coming up on this occasion by Allen. Compston wins the tap to the front of the pack. A hurry kick off the ground. We'll see a minor score. The first score of the afternoon for the Bloods is a minor one. It's a 13-point margin, 14 playing 1, 11 minutes gone opening term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Thrum not wasting any time. Targets Strosh with the kick. Taken off his hands by Burke. Kicks down the line, turns it over. Van Human's there for the Bloods. Right on halfway. Right foot kick inside the 50. Good mark from Burke. Made amends for the error. And he takes it inside the defensive 50. Chips short to Geary, wheels around onto his left boot, sends it out wide for Drew Barrett, who marks and moves it on immediately to Hartley. Down the outer side go the Dogs. Hartley directs some traffic, takes a bounce, sticks it on the left, inside the 50. It'll get over the back. There's some holding on there. And the umpire has paid the free kick to South Bendigo. It'll go to Langley, who's inside the defensive 50 for the Bloods. It's a nice transition play from Square. Langley chips it short to Leon. And South have got it inside the back 50.
Leon will go short again. So sharing it around in the back zone here. Oh, it's a poor kick. Kick went straight to Golden Square in Macy Eaton in his debut game, and he kicks it poorly. Might be a free kick that's given for one over the shoulder. It was to Cooper Leon. Cooper Leon, short pass. He finds a teammate, defensive 50. Sharing it around, ends up with Miller. Miller by hand will give it to Cooper Leon. They're swung from one side to the other in the back zone. With Hare, the skipper now for the Bloods. He'll go down the line, and it's hard up against the line. Getting a fist in there was Harrison Burke, and underneath the scoreboard that reads 14 playing 1, we'll have another ball in.
South seem to be getting, your 2-3 possessions and then coughing it up. They've done that several times in this opening quarter, where Square have probably just been a little bit more finished.
Voice of Nick Churchill with you. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live. John Peterson and John Hunter calling it for you from Golden Square this afternoon. The Bloods and the Bulldogs kick inside forward 50 out of the contest from South. Allen was on the end of it, but Coe got a clearing fist in there. Now Thrum at ground level. Beautiful spreading kick. Drops it into the bucket in front of Strosh, who kicks down the line. Through the hands there of Jack Stewart. Good enough to get it off to Dogood, to Ward. Burke at centre-half forward, stretching behind his head. Couldn't take in the mark. Got it off to Compston. He handballs to Hickman. Hickman will share it wide. Now Harry Burke with a chance. Gets to 52. Eyes the stick. Sends it long. Eaton gets upstairs. Arms outstretched. Pulls it in. And he's going to have a chance at his first senior goal from 5 metres out, as Jeff Williamson brings him around on the angle. Lovely bit of play from the Dogs.
I better not say he'll kick this, should I? I better let him go.
Macy Eaton, for his first goal in senior football, just sneaks it in. It was a wobbly old thing off the boot, but it got the job done.
It's in the paper.
It's in the paper, and they don't draw pictures.
And they, and the Square boys have really come in to give him a pat on the back for that one. That, if we take away, the kick was a goal, but it was a shocker. But the mark was terrific. It was under pressure, and he just had strong hands. So we'll sort of focus on the terrific grab.
Later on tonight, it'll be a running shot from 50 out. 3-2-20 Golden Square. South Bendigo 1 behind, 14 gone. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Out of the middle will be Compston that wins the tap. He's dominated so far. Haddo tried an awkward inside ball that ended up on left half forward for the Blood somehow. They got away with it. That's probably the best description, wasn't it, Winnie?
Highest kick I've ever seen.
Hurried kick out of the pack by Ma. And in fact, the umpire has called a free kick. I think umpire Williamson, being the non-officiating, might have dished out a free kick to Oscar White, left half forward for the Bloods. Haven't looked like hitting the scoreboard in a major way at the moment. White now. He'll go long. He'll put it looking for Strubens. Can't find him. It's just a sea of blue and gold. Shelton takes a good, strong, contested mark.
They've been pretty strong in the back line, Square, haven't they? Repelling pretty much any of the South forward moves.
Coe now. Got it from Shelton. Loops the handball over the top to Thrum, who floats it on for Monty. Spears the kick down the line. Johnston got in there for South to knock it away from Brodie James, and it'll be tossed back in. Footy might have bounced over the fence there, down onto the bowling green.
At Dow Park, Joel, 117. The Bulldogs, Gisborne, are leading 1 behind Kangaroo Flat.
And at Tannery Lane, it's a point in it. Strathfield say 1-1, leads Sandhurst 1 straight. Goal on the board to Lockie Sharp for the Storm.
Played a game for Molden, Lockie Sharp, didn't he, this year too?
Start of the year he did, just to celebrate their 150th year.
Yeah.
Lachlan Wright, the goal kicker for Sandhurst. The ball's been retrieved from the Bowls Club and back into play. Thrum from the contest, kicks toward half forward. Gee, it was a really strong presentation at half forward there for the Dogs. Hickman came charging out from the forward 50, and he's been paid the mark in the end. He's 60 from home. He tees it up to full forward. Eaton's in the van once more. He did a little bit of holding on, though. He's a little bit too eager to get to that footy. And Johnson will take it from fullback for South Bendigo. Spread it out toward White.
White now plays on the left, looks for Brock Harvey. Just wasn't quite to his advantage. Oh, little Dogood, a little tap behind the body. Then he was good enough to pick it up, and then he dished it off to Barrett. Barrett was with a short pass. That was Drew Barrett, and finds Joel Brett, who's got a shot at goal. But clever little bit of work with a backhanded tap. It was basketball-like, wasn't it?
They they certainly made them pay for the mistake anyway. The kick was to a contest, and Square seemed to be pretty good at making the most of any little error by South.
He's a good kicker to the football. Normally Joel Brett, but not on this occasion. Spread it wide, started right, and another minor score. So the Dogs go to 3-3-21. They lead one behind. 17 minutes gone. Opening term. Footy fresh as Bendigo Football Live.
Bloods hadn't lost the first quarter coming into today and outscored their opponents in every first quarter so far this season. Certainly not going to be the case today. Miller takes a good mark at halfback for South Bendigo. Down in front of the minivan of blokes dressed in pirate clothing out there. Some kind of Bucks Day going on, I'd imagine. They're wearing all kinds of stuff out on that outer side, those gents.
I don't know if I've spotted a pirate yet, but I'll look a bit closer.
They've got hats and beards and the ruffly sort of Jerry Seinfeld shirt set up as well.
They've got the bus pulled up there, so they've got a great spot.
Haddo, chips short. The Bloods hemmed in at halfback at the moment. Brooks moves it on to Poyser. First season at the Bloods, the former Sandhurst junior. Youngster pokes it on over the top. Griffiths is up at half forward to take the mark under a little bit of heat from Harry Burke. So South slowly but surely are getting there. Griffiths sends it inside the forward 50. Strubens has got about 17 of them to contest with. Keck took it off the pack, ducked the head into the tackle, and he's pinged holding the ball. Good bit of umpiring, because he went low to try and draw the free kick, and he was wrapped up in the tackle. Square take it over. Thrum, and now Jaden Burke in the back pocket.
Now he kicks it long, broadcast side. His target, it was Eaton, Macy Eaton, who's got his hands on it a little bit so far. Going inside forward 50 now was Hare, but now Golden Square bring it back the other way. They're playing kick to kick here. Here, he received a pass. Now will he kick to his teammate? He does. Now they're going in the right direction. It's Brooks, but that's a wide kick. No, but Strubens looking at him saying, where was that going? Because it wasn't going in my direction. It goes over the boundary line, up hard against the point post. We'll have a ball in. 21 playing 20. The Bulldogs lead. We've gone 19 minutes opening turn.
Got a bit of frustration creeping into the South forward line there. A couple of guys were free, and that probably wasn't the spot he needed to go.
There hasn't been a lot of fluency in their game so far. Gee, from the throw-in, it was just hacked off the ground by Alex Smith, who threw his right boot at it. And it goes through, floats through for a minor score. The second for South Bendigo. Two behinds, plays Golden Square 3-3-21. They played nearly 20 minutes in the opening term. Pass was nicely measured to Jaden Burke. And now the Dogs move it down the wing. Great mark from Torpy. Really well judged to pull that in right in front of our broadcast position on centre wing.
Torpy, it's just directing the traffic a little bit. He's a left footer. Oh, he spotted. I thought he'd spotted up McCaig. It just floated out of reach and over the boundary line, 70 metres out from the goal that the Bloods are attacking. Just in front of the netball. We'll have another ball in. They need to get one on the board just to get their confidence and their run back in the game, the Bloods, because they don't look like it. Haven't spotted Coach Horbury really with an effective possession as a whistle on play. It will be a free kick, and it'll go to Will Allen. Probably a little hold, I suspect, off the ball. Now, Will Allen, the man on the mark, Jack Geary for the Dogs, stands at 50. Will Allen likes his chances to the city end, which is the Laurel Street end here at Wade Street. He's up and under. It's going to work, and he snuck it in. Wow, you just had to hold your breath for a moment because it was a long, high ball. It went further up than it did in length, I'd imagine. It was a massive monster ball, and that's their first of the opening term. 1-2-8, the Bloods. They're on the board. Golden Square 3-3-21. Footy fresh as Bendigo Football Live.
Will Allen, well, there you go. That was a terrific kick. He just launched onto that, and he backed himself from outside 50. Young fella, I remember coaching him in under-8 soccer at Spring Gully there, and he had a pretty good hoof on him in those days for what it's worth. But that's a great kick. He's gone back into the ruck now.
He's a really talented key position prospect for them, the Bloods. South Bendigo Junior. They take it out of the middle again here to the Bloods through Marr, who finds Keck at centre half forward. Keck kicks to full forward over the head of Harvey. Dugood's back there for the Dogs, shares it with Burke, who's operated a lot in the defensive 50 so far. That's a wild kick that he blasts out of bounds on the full. And it'll be brought back into play by Will McCaig for South Bendigo at left half forward. He's 60 from home. Puts it into the pocket. It's a really poor kick in the end. He stabbed it straight back out of bounds on the full. It hardly came back into play. And it'll be taken by Dougal in the back pocket for the Dogs. They lead by 13 points, Golden Square. 22 gone first term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Dougal with the footy. Just looking to go inboard. It's dangerous but effective. Reeves, he received a nice mark and then gave it by hand to Harrison Burke, who will spread it further wide on the wing. So looking to build here, Golden Square again. They're just moving it a lot more cleanly, what the Bloods are. To half forward, mark's been taken by Burke. Burke will swing it further across half forward now to Barrett. So they're swinging from left to right to left. Now the ball's inside forward 50. A whistle on play. Downfield. Must have been something off the ball. And Vaz has taken either a mark, free kick, or down the field. Doesn't matter. He's going to have a shot at.
Yeah, it was Will Keck who upended Barrett after he got rid of the footy.
I think old Mr. Barrett there might have put a little bit onto that.
A little bit of mayo.
I reckon
A little bit of barbecue sauce onto the chicken burger.
He went down pretty. Theatrically, I reckon.
Well, they look better when Vaz is in form. He didn't find the footy a lot last week against Sandhurst, but today he's grabbed a couple and he's looked dangerous. Their big man department is not lacking when they're on song. Vaz. Oh, he just made that one work and he slams it through. Just doesn't matter how they go through, but they're getting them on the board, Golden Square. The fourth in this opening term. So 4-3-27, they lead the Bloods 1-2-8. We're in the shadows of quarter time. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
I think, the last probably 5 minutes, South have been certainly a lot more assertive. They've been better with their ball movement, but they certainly didn't need that coming to the end of the quarter.
All of Golden Square scoring shots so far from set shots. Interestingly enough, they're not generating anything from sort of just general play. It's all been very deliberate for the Dogs because they've had plenty of time and space to operate in. From the restart, Cameron won it down. Haddo's kick up toward half forward for the Bloods. Bounces awkwardly for Griffiths, who did well. Kept it alive. Handed it off to White. Left foot kick. Eyes the goals. Harvey, arms outstretched. Can't bring it in. And it floats out of play for a throw-in deep in the left forward pocket. That was a great bit of play from Sam Griffiths.
Straight out of the middle too. I think their big ruckman there, Cameron, got them the first use of the footy again out of the centre, and best bit of play they've had.
Deep in attack, the Bloods looking to mount on their only goal that they've scored so far. Up they go in the ruck to a pack forms. Compton doing some hard, heavy tackling in the middle there. I just like the work he's brought to the table. He tackled Smith very, very well. Now the ball spills in the direction of the coach Horbury. Gives it off by hand to McCaig. McCaig goes around the body. He goes to the top of the square. I reckon Harvey's put one over the shoulder and a little bit of Harlem Globetrotter stuff. He just juggled it with one hand, slammed it over the boot. He had a little bit of glance over his shoulder as well at the same time. And that was a party trick if I've ever seen one by Brock Harvey. Wow, 2-2-14, the Bloods. They go to 4-3-27. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
That sort of stuff just keeps him in the game, doesn't it? Like, out of nowhere, he's on the, right at the end of the quarter, he's got that last goal back, but that was a cracker. What a great kick.
Over the head. Only really got one hand. Well, never really took full control of it. No. That was extraordinary from Brock Harvey. That was an outstanding goal. Again, they get the clearance out of the middle, the Bloods. Allen had enough of it, not paid in the end, bounced off his chest, taken by Hartley, and Geary takes a good mark, falling to the turf on his back. Right on halfway. Jack Geary sends it inside the forward 50. Zach Hare comes across. He had it knocked out of his hands late. Freckleton was closing in, but didn't get there in time, so the Blood skipper will send it wide to Griffiths. Should have taken that, dropped it, keeps it in front of himself. Did well again at ground level, then drags Strosh off the footy. Should be a free kick and is to Golden Square.
Yeah, well, they're going to play the advantage. It's Monty now. He did a little bit of a don't argue. Freckleton put it in front of him, hit him on the chest, but he couldn't quite mark it. Miller mops up for the Bloods. Short pass to Horbury. Horbury will go to half-back, centering ball. Smith now, the Bloods. They'll launch again to half forward, bouncing footy, inside forward 50. Now it's the Bulldogs under pressure. Little bit of hurried handball over the top. Umpires letting it go. Brett's playing up the field. Coe, oh, he just got his boot to ball. Now Monty. Monty will launch from the middle. He's got Captain Jack on. He's got Hickman down the field. He spots him, doesn't go that way. Decides to come inboard, and he spots up Ricky Monty.
So Monty wants to move it on now for the Dogs. They lead by 13 points, 27 played opening term. Just chips it forward. Patient build-up. Ball in the hands of Strosh. Right foot kick inside the 50. Fighting for the football was Stewart. Tried to slip the tackle. Got the handball away. Hickman around the body to full forward. And Vaz has latched onto it again. Accepts it to his chest. He's 20 from home directly in front.
He's got to be I won't put the moz on him, but he's been good, hasn't he? I liked him.
Well, all the marks they're taking, in the corridor, aren't they? So when you keep saying that, you shouldn't put the moz on them. It's because it's because that where they're marking the footy, it's right where they should be kicking them.
So he was in the right spot, was Braden Vaz, and the siren sounded for quarter time. So Vaz playing in front. Can he beat the quarter time buzzer with the goal here? He sticks it to the right-hand side of the post. And it's a bit of a let-off for South Bendigo, who could have gone in 19 points arrears, but we get to quarter time, and the margin is 14. Golden Square kicking the first 3 goals of the game. They traded them from there. And at quarter time at Wade Street in round 4 of Bendigo football, it is Golden Square 4-4-28, leading South Bendigo 2-2.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home.
It's 2-2-14 apiece. Lockie Sharp with an early goal for the Storm. The other goal in that game going to Daniel Clossy for Sandhurst. Andy Collins and Lachlan Wright each with goals. Scores tied there at quarter time. No other scores coming in from Bendigo footy in the Loddon Valley Football Netball League, thanks to the great Wayne Smith. No better travelled person in Central Victorian football than Wayne Smith. Quarter time, Inglewood 2-7-19 to Maiden Gully YCW 2 straight 12. So plenty of live scores throughout the course of the afternoon. It's the Dogs by 14 points here at Waite Street.
Yes, and speaking of points, Vaz has kicked a number of them. He should have had 3, but he's only got 1 on the board, and singles also to Captain Jack Geary, Freckleton and Macy Eaton in his debut game for the Bulldogs. Also singles to Will Allen for the Bloods, and none better than Brock Harvey's Harlem Globetrotter over the shoulder. Did look away, put one hand on the ball, one hand on his foot, and bang, put it through for a major.
Yeah, certainly pretty excited about that one, weren't you, mate? It was a ripper. So look, with Golden Square, look, I think they controlled the ball for most of the quarter. They're better players, obviously. Geary, Jaden Burke having a good battle there, sort of in the back line against Will Allen there. So that's been a really good battle. So Jaden Burke's one of my better players, and a couple of the forwards for Square too. Obviously Vaz, Brett, Freckleton.
Good on you, Nick. Richard Jones telling us Eagle Hawk 9-2-56 to Castlemaine, 1 behind at quarter time out at Canterbury Park. So a big lead to the Borough out at Eagle Hawk. Secondary ball up from the restart here from quarter time. Hartley gets a kick forward for the Dogs through the hands of Torpy. Stewart, he gave it off to Barrett. Liam Barrett looks goalward and just tugs his kick a little to the left. Minor score, but a fast start for Golden Square in this second term pushes their lead to 15, 30 seconds played.
Torpy will kick it in from full-back. So the Dogs are a little bit wasteful. They've probably should be further in front. Torpy now plays on from full-back, as they almost always do nowadays when they're kicking in. Shouldn't be allowed for a stat in my book, but it is. Ball's up on the wing now. Cooper Leon, he receives and gives a little handball. That was effective to White. White, a little short pass down the line, and they're just lining up here for them, the Bloods. Inside forward 50, and Strubens, well, it's the first time that he's had a lead that's really been honoured, and the kick was true. Takes a mark in front of his eyes, and he's in that corridor, Nick, so you would think that he'd kick this goal, albeit he's 40 metres out.
Full back to full forward. That's definitely South's best passage of play for the day. All clean possessions, and that was just a beautiful pass. So let's see if he can get that hard work and put it through.
Strubens now. It's a spinning ball. It probably won't make the distance. Compston standing on the line, and it was effective for Compston because he got a fingertip on it and put it through for a minor score. So opportunity goes missing. 15 playing 29. Bloods trail. We've gone 2 minutes here, opening term.
Thrum chips in from fullback, finds Jack Geary. An uncharacteristic skill error from Geary, and a great mark from Leon to track that in flight, back over his head and juggle and pull it in. Got it off to Haddo. Haddo kicks to full forward. Coming out was Harry Burke. Strong pair of hands, played on over the top by hand, set Geary a task. Just had to soccer it off the deck in the end. Then Burke tried to, well, he did trip Langley, and then he stuck his boot out to try and control it soccer style. And the Bloods will get a free kick out of the contest in the end. And Sam Langley will take it at right half forward. 65 from home. He's unlucky maybe to not get one in the initial instance. He looks a bit undecided, so he kicks to full forward, and it's a really poor kick. Dropping back into the hole to take an uncontested defensive mark is Jaden Burke of the Dogs.
Short pass to Thrum to the back pocket, who plays on quickly and gets onto that trusty left beyond 50. Stross running back. Did nicely, took a mark, then he dished a handball over the top to Monty. Monty of the Dogs, it was a poor kick. Intercepting mark by the Bloods. So they'll have it. Oh, that's a poor kick too. Straight to Hartley. So some basic skill errors by both sides. Dogs now have it between centre and half forward. Hartley with the footy for the Dogs. Inside looking for Freckleton. Goes over the top, over his head. Tracking the football will be Riley Walsh. He's got support there by Keck. They'll share it around. Isaiah Miller. That's a nothing handball as well. They're under pressure. They're panicking. Barrett, he received a handball. Then he coughed it up. 60 metres out now from the Dogs' goal. And that was all a little bit messy. And it's going to end up with Vaz, who gets a free kick. Short pass. He's got Joel Brett. Poor kicking by the Bloods, and eventually they got there here, the Dogs, and it wasn't world-class football, as it's now a shot on goal by Joel Brett.
It was pretty hot footy, wasn't it? Just at the quarter-time break, there was a little bit of push and shove, a little bit of feeling coming into the game. So I think that's snuck into this second quarter a little bit. They're certainly willing, having a go.
Well, it's the basic skill areas that's amazing me. As Joel Brett pumps the air as he pumps the ball through the middle. That was never going to miss. And he's a proven goal kicker, Joel Brett. So extends the lead here. 5-5-35 Dogs, 2-3-15. 4.5 minutes gone. Second term Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Seen two terrific goals from the same spot. One to Will Allen in the first quarter from South, and that goal there too was just a beautiful, deliberate kick. It just seems strange when some guys just run up. You just know, you can just sort of sense it, and he never looked like he was going to miss that. So that was a great kick.
This field kicking's just, it's terrible. They're playing kick to kick, aren't they?
It's both teams, and I think yes, the amount of footy Square's getting, they are wasting some chances.
Only got themselves to blame at the moment of the Bloods for the turnovers, and Square really only got themselves to blame for not being further ahead. Haddo lays a good tackle in the middle of the ground, brings down to Hickman, and we'll do it all again. So Golden Square, Brett getting his first, equals Lockie Sharp the Ron Best medal virtual lead with 11. Of course, Will Keck came into today's game tied with Brett and Sharp on 10. And he hasn't really featured so far in this game. Free kick to the coach here. Maybe almost his first deliberate kick of the game. He's been very quiet, has Nathan Horbury. Sends it short. Mark's taken by Haddo, and then they're not happy with the treatment from Hartley, who ran in, and it didn't look like he did a hell of a lot, to be perfectly honest. We're a bit further away than the players are. Haddo lays it off. Kicks straight over the head of Harvey. Never gave him a chance. The delivery has been really poor inside the arc today, the Bloods. Burke on hands and knees. That was Jaden Burke. Up to Thrum, who hooks it around the body. It'll come back in, though, because Miller's taken it for the Bloods.
Miller's short pass. He didn't muck around. He spotted up Tate Poyser. It was hands and knees. Now they'll make it quick, move it quickly, and they'll go across half forward. And Hare, who was snuck down the ground, has taken a mark. 49 metres out. In fact, it's 50. Umpire Williamson has reversed it. I'm not sure what it was for, but it'll be Golden Square. Brett down the field, gives it to Coe by foot to Barrett. Liam Barrett, halfway between half-back and the wing for the Dogs. He'll go long to half-forward. Freckleton's the target. Ran underneath the footy. At the back of the pack, Miller tried to tap it along the ground. Keeps his feet. Offering support as Van Human around the body. Hare, he picks it up to Cameron. The old 1-2, they're moving it nicely now. A long ball to half-forward. They'll set themselves. Burke, a fist in there for the Dogs, puts it over the boundary line. Halfway between wing and half forward, we'll have a ball in. 35 playing 15. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Jaden Burke's been good so far, Winston, hasn't he?
I think he's might have found himself a position in the back line there, which you've got to be a bit careful if you're a forward line player getting sent back to do too well.
He has played a lot of his footy as a junior in the back line, and then coming to the Square team played up forward, so he's adept at either end of the ground. From the throw in, the Bloods working into the middle of the ground. Griffiths kicks inside the forward 50. Struben's had good position there on Shelton. An awkward fall there. Might have been Keck going down. He went headlong into that pack, and he's still down and sore inside forward 50 for the Bloods. Meantime, the Dogs chain it forward. Reeves finds Hickman. Hickman goes inside the 50. Well done from Torpy. Knocked it away from Freckleton. 30 out from goal. Turnover. Langley gave it straight to Brett, who shot it goalward but put it across the face. You don't need to give Joel Brett a second chance, and that time he didn't capitalise. 21 points the Dogs lead. 5-6 plays 2-3. 8 played. Second term Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Torpy kicks it in from fullback to Isaiah Miller, who's standing in the back pocket for the Bloods defensively. Kicks it long beyond 50. He'll kick it to a contest. Will Allen was the target. Comes off hands. Compston doing some roving on that occasion. Gave it to the other big man in Freckleton for the Dogs, who will send it forward. Didn't look. And Torpy took an uncontested mark on the chest. On the left now, he'll look to send it to the other side of the wing. It's a foot race for the ball. Who will get there first? Geary's in the area, so is Monty. Monty, the ladder, wins it. Gives it by hand, back to Geary. The Dogs will move it forward now. That was a poor kick to Van Human. He'll receive a handball. He overran the footy on the first occasion, but was in the right position. Now it's to the wing. Dogs look to move it and be clean, and it's through Harrison Burke.
Harry Burke hands it off to Thrum. Over the top to Vaz. Got the handball away to Strosh. Back to Thrum. Back to Geary just in front of halfway out of side for the Dogs. Off to Thrum. Turned it over. Good pressure from Haddo. Forces the error and the Bloods go back the other way. Strubens was held without the football. And it's going to be a free kick to the South Star. He's got it in the centre square. He waits for the numbers to go back inside forward 50. Finds Langley, who looked to go and slipped over right on the front edge of the centre square. Hands it off to Hare, cruises to 51, and the pressure late from Monty did enough to affect the kick. It dribbles inside the forward 50, and it's going to be a free kick to the Bloods in the end, to Smith. Smith hands it off to Torpy, eyes the sticks, and sticks it through. Bit of reward for effort for South Bendigo. And Braden Torpy was just cruising past, and he's a dangerous man to have the ball in the hands of. South Bendigo's third goal of the game. They moved to 3-3-21, square 5-6-36, 10 played, second term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
I reckon they've done that before. That was a beautiful kick, wasn't it? He feeds it out the side and bang. Great kick, good goal, very needed for South.
Bit of byplay on the scoreboard by the Golden Square score people. There's every time they kick a goal, the opposition, it says that hurts on the top. You have a look at the cartoon character. Yeah, they don't like it at all.
Arthur's got all kinds of tricks dialed in here at Square.
From the restart, Cooper Leon won it from the middle and put it to half forward for the Bloods, but it's a hurried kick off half back for the Dogs. Now it's a contest. Isaiah Miller, he gives it off by hand to a teammate who'll now spread it wide. They'll look to build here through White. White for the Bloods on the wing, looking to get two quick ones in a row. They'll set themselves. Burke for the Dogs. Got his hands on the football. He's doing well up back this afternoon. Jack Geary's there. He tries to put it at the feet of a teammate. They've got numbers. At the end of a handball was Liam Barrett. Goes one way, then the next, then he'll send it long to the centre wing.
Oh, good mark from Cameron. Big McGregor Cameron standing tall in the contest. Outpointed Strosh to the most recent goal kicker in Torpy, inside the forward 50. Johnston spending a little bit of time inside forward 50 for the Bloods. Somehow got it away to Poyser. Poyser kicks to full forward. Coe, the rock in defence for Golden Square, as he so often is, immediately spreads the play to Brett. Brett looks up and sees Freckleton inside forward 50. End to end for the Dogs. Can Freckleton steady his snap? He does, but he shoots it out of bounds on the full. It all opened up in front of him, but South got there in the nick of time, and it'll be taken on the last line by Langley for the Bloods, who trail by 15 points, 11 played, second term.
Langley, short pass to Horbury, the coach, deep in the defensive zone by hand to Torpy. Torpy now long beyond 50 to White. White on right half-back, short pass to the Johnson of the Bloods, moving it well now. Handball received, Poyser. Poyser, short pass. He's kicking it to 2-on-1. It's the Dogs. Thrum now intercepts. He runs. Short pass. That's an effective kick. Joel Brett, halfway between the centre and half forward. Looks to turn and go. Who's he going to go to? Freckleton. It's 2-on-1. Van Human did well. Now Freckleton still in the contest. Dishes it off to James. James of the Dogs will pump it forward and miss. In fact, put it out of bounds on the full by hitting the post, slamming it there, but good build-up. And a good bit of footy there by both teams. 36 playing 21, 5-point margin. Dogs lead, 12.5 gone, second term.
This feels like it's a little bit more evenly poised, this game in the second term. Walsh has got it inside forward, inside defensive 50 for the Bloods. Horbury's cruising past, lays it off by hand to Hare, loops the handball over the top on the outer side to Van Human. Got shoved off it. Geary's in there to try and intercept for Golden Square and get it moving the Dogs' way. Great tackle along the boundary line by Harvey. Does he win a free kick? Umpire says toss it in as the ball trickled over the boundary line. So it'll be thrown back in between the wing and half forward. Joel Peterson, John Hunter, Nick Churchill with you. Fresh footy is Bendigo Football Live. Bloods take it away from the contest. Ma up toward half forward. Immediately turning and moving it on was Harvey onto the chest of Strubens. And he's got it, the spearhead, in the left forward pocket. He's 30 from home. Maybe just better than a 45-degree angle.
similar to where he was last time, I guess, somewhere around there. I noticed they kick the drop punch. It's a straight run at the mark. It's none of the kicking around the corner stuff you've seen in the AFL, so I sort of like that a bit.
He's kicked plenty in Blood's colours, has Steve Strubens. Not today, though. Gee, the kicking boots are really not on. That's a bad miss across the face, out of bounds on the fullies.
Nothing.
Couldn't hit the barn door. And Strosh will bring it in from the last line for the Dogs. 15 points the spread, 14 played second term.
Stross will put it across his defensive goal. Short pass received by Thrum. Thrum now just assessing his options. He walks off, then jogs, then kicks it long, pumps it beyond 50. They'll set themselves. Good fly by Barrett at the back, but Van Humen of the Bloods, he tried to keep the ball in play but was ineffective, and it has gone out of bounds, and it will be a ball in.
14 points out at Dower Park now, Johnny. Gisborne 4-5, lead Kangaroo Flat 2-3. Tannery Lane at Sandhurst by 4, 3-4-22. Leading Strathfield, say, a little bit wasteful, the Storm, 2-6-18.
Bloods attacked as the ball was thrown in. Marr sharked it for the Bloods and put it forward. And a good, strong contested mark by Harvey, who was standing at the top of the square and will get a shot at goal. And he usually eats these ones for breakfast. He's got one this afternoon that made me absolutely get out of my chair, but this one's pretty stock standard, you would think. So Brock Harvey, goal kicker, kicked a lot of goals, 60-odd last year, I believe. A real find for the Bloods, and has kicked his second of the afternoon. So they tighten this game right up here out at Wade Street. It goes to 4-4-27 to 5-6-36. Golden Square lead, and you can see that not happy sign comes up there, Winston, as I was talking about.
There you go. Yep, not happy at all, that dog there.
Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Do they still play Who Let the Dogs Out when they kick a goal? I haven't heard it yet, but I remember playing here to that song every time they kicked a goal. But no, that was a good goal. I think just shows you class. He wasn't far out, but he didn't falter.
So 2 goals in the term for the Bloods. Out of the middle, clearing kick up toward half forward. Griffiths does nicely, sends it inside the 50. Allen's at the back, almost pinching it was Keck. And now a play for Haddo, who's 25 from home. Strubens flies in there. He tries to take it. Going to ground was Harvey. Strubens is back on the football, but he's quickly tackled. Liam Dougal on that occasion was wearing him like a glove. Ball up 30 out from the South Bendigo goal. Compston down into the path of Keck. Strubens trying to get the leg free and hook it around the body. Still has a play on the ball here. Hartley for the Dogs. Desperate stuff in defence. Hemmed in along the boundary line. Still Strubens has got a play on it. He picks it up, swings it around the body to fall forward. Coe going back with the flight. Allen there with him for company. They desperately seek the sanctity of the boundary line, the Dogs, and they'll find it inside the back pocket, just to relieve the pressure for the moment. But South Bendigo ramping things up. They trail by 9, locked inside their forward 50.
Well, the momentum swing is definitely on. You can feel that South Bendigo are just on top at this stage of the game. They've had to work hard, but they're there or thereabouts. Compston wins the tap from the throw-in. A big fist towards the boundary line. And on any other occasion, it would be insufficient attempt, but apparently Ruckman can do it, Winston.
They're allowed to. I think, you're right, though, with the momentum swing. I think the first 10 minutes of the first quarter, South were very lucky to get the ball into their forward line, and now they're doing quite a lot of the attacking.
Deep in the pocket, Bloods attack. They throw it in. Compston, a double fister. Trying to make a path, there will be James. Monty offers support, picks it up by hand. A hurried given, and now a long kick into the middle. Now it'll be Golden Square to Bill, but they can't. Intercepted there by Walsh. Walsh of the Bloods, kicks it to half forward, and now it's going to come back the other way through Golden Square, and it's James.
Stewart is the target of the kick. Couldn't take the mark. Doing well, though, was Murley. Kicks to half forward, lovely delivery to Brett, 55 from home, lays it off inside the 50. Barrett back with the flight. That's Drew Barrett, couldn't take the mark, goes to ground, fights for it with Miller. Crashing in there was Stewart, really good stuff from him. Langley along the boundary line, couldn't take it. And eventually it's walked across by Hare, and it'll be thrown in. 40 out from the Dogs' goal in front of the netball courts, left forward pocket, 9 points the ball game. Things starting to ramp up here at the 18-minute mark of the second. Dogs building here. You just sensed that the urgency was up in that period of play there. Grabbed out of the air by McGregor. That's McGregor, Cameron.
He puts it to Haddo by hand. Had to check myself there, little Joel. You said it once in the course of the afternoon. Now I'm going to run with it all.
I'd love to know what his middle name is, because there's potentially could have 3 first names or 3 last names.
Smith,
Well,
apparently it is.
Yeah, that's it. Nguyen, as we're 70 out from goal. Dogs attacked. Left half forward. In front of the netball. A little bit going on in the netball over there. They're all standing
There's
around.
nothing going on there between games. What are you talking about?
I was just wondering whether they were in a big circle over there. It's grabbed out of the pack by the coach Horbury, but he's kicked it straight to Jonathan Coe.
They haven't even started yet. Coe goes inside forward
They're
50.
doing the chant, Joel. Have a listen to them.
Oh, the rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
I love the rah,
That's
rah,
what
rah.
that was alluding to.
Should be more of that. A little bit of noise going on at the netball then. Maybe not so much on the action in terms of the netball courts. Van Humen through the centre of the ground. Back to what's happening on the football field here at Wade Street. Inside forward 50. Leon came from a mile back. Barreled over Jaden Burke. No free kick for it. And then later, really good tackle to lock things up inside forward 50. Not letting Thrum out of his grasp. So ball up 45 metres out from the Bloods goal. Allen and Compston. Compston taps it down. Leon hands to it. Got it onto the boot. Sent it forward. Mark taken. Harvey coming out from full forward. Has taken another one. And Brock Harvey can go back from 35 out directly in front and try for his third.
Johnny's lad.
Yes. Well, they look a different side when he's on, don't they? All of a sudden with Strubens down there as well, they look really potent.
He knows this ground well, having played his junior footy here at Golden Square. Brock Harvey. He kicked a spectacular one in the first term. He kicked the last of the game for the Bloods. This to drag it back to 3 points the spread. Harvey's kick is there. And South are right back in the ball game. 5-3-33 the Bloods. Golden Square 5-6-36. Ticking toward time on in this second term. In fact, 30 seconds into time on in the second term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
They're certainly not going away, South Bendigo, and they're actually making a real run on this game. Coming into half-time, I think there's been a huge shift, and they're playing some very good football. And obviously, blokes like Brock Harvey kicking a couple this quarter has got them straight back into it.
Last 3 of the game for the Bloods now, Johnny.
Yeah, well, the momentum's definitely there, and from the restart, it's going to be a free kick to Horbury, and it's probably no coincidence that he's starting to get his hands on the footy as well. So you've got him and Harvey, and all of a sudden, the game's a little bit different. Short pass to Ma of the Bloods. Defensive side of the centre circle. Almost, well, it's not quite a glue pot, but it's certainly a centre wicket. Ma goes long. Cameron McGregor playing up forward now. That mark is played in front of the eyes. John Coe had no chance. And 49 metres out. Doesn't like his chances. It's an awkward left into the pocket, looking for Harvey. But the numbers were all with the Dogs. Do good over the top. Big fist, and puts it over the boundary line, and we'll have another ball in. 36 playing 33, 3-point margin, 22 minutes gone, second term.
You're sticking with the Cameron McGregor.
Did I go with that time, did I? Yeah.
It's hard. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Here is McGregor Cameron, takes front spot. Handball straight into the opposing Golden Square player. Jaden Burke tried to come away with it, tackled by Horbury. Got the arms free to handball outside the defensive 50. James just tries to bustle it forward for Golden Square. Ball and free kick advantage will go the way of the Bloods. Miller's kick inside forward 50 off the hands of Hartley, picked up by Griffiths. Kicks an absolute finger breaker to full forward. Keck had a play at it, Strubens too. And eventually it trickles out of play and hit the behind post on the way through. So the goal umpire, the boundary umpires are pretty certain that was a behind. The goal umpire was certain it wasn't. So it'll be tossed back in. Deep left forward pocket. Bloods into attack. Trail by 3. They've got the last 3 of the game nearing half time.
Well, it suits the Bloods because it's deep in their forward line, putting pressure on the Dogs. They're sharing it around, shoveling it through Harrison Burke. And James just overstretched, couldn't pick it up. Then he did. Then he was tackled at 51 metres out defensively. And umpire Williamson blows his whistle and says, I'm going to ball it up. So 50 metres out on the knocker from the Bloods goal, looking to get another one, looking to take the lead for the first time this afternoon. Will Allen, it was a tap, didn't go to anybody. Intensity was up in that contest. Good strong tackling by the Bloods by Samuel Griffiths, and we'll have another ball up. 3-point margin, we're in the shadows of half-time. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Much better second term from South Bendigo. Remembering they haven't beaten Golden Square here since 2009. 12 games in a row. that they've lost to the Dogs at this venue. Looking to break the hoodoo this afternoon. Jeff Williamson fires it up into the air inside the Bloods forward 50 once more. Handball came straight back toward him while he was fighting for it at ground level, and then Griffiths and Horbury both in there on the tackle for the Bloods. And we'll have another stoppage, this time 52 metres out from goal. A little bit of sun peeking through the clouds here on a wintry sort of a late autumn day. Horbury at the contest. Great tackle from Hartley. Pinned Leon, dragged him to ground, won a free kick for holding the ball. And he takes it for the Dogs on the back point of the centre square.
Hartley's got players running for him. He looks to cross. He might go or Monty. Well, in fact, Monty's running off the bench. In fact, he does the exact opposite and decides to go short towards the boundary line. So it'll be Golden Square off half back. It'll be a short pass marked by James. His short pass. Well, it's intercepted. Now it'll be Miller, Isaiah Miller for the Bloods. Looks to move it quickly. Had players running for him. Didn't handball it in the end. He's got them lining up in the middle. Sells a little bit of candy. Gets around a little bit too easy. Now he sends it long and deep into the pocket. Off hands to the back of the pack. Oh, sharking on the footy. I reckon it's a goal for the Bloods. It is. And the man with the footy is Oscar White. He was a true Rovers goal. He was lurking at the back of the pack. Quite easily ran into an open goal in the end. And they take the lead for the first time this afternoon. The Bloods, 5-6-36. Golden Square, rather, 5-6-36. It's the Bloods, 6-3-39. A 3-point margin.
Who would have thought? McGregor Cameron, really good contest in that full forward line, and obviously opened it up for that terrific goal to White off a true roving goal it was, but brought to the ground by the big man.
4 in a row for the Bloods now, and the clearance coming here. Allen wins the free kick, hands off to Leon, kicks an absolute dead pigeon inside the 50, and Keck has it just fall into his lap.
Dead pigeon, that's a ripper.
49 metres out. The thing floated like a brick inside the arc.
The green is going wild in Central Victoria, listening to the broadcast.
And Will Keck, to give the Bloods 5 in a row, launches it from 51. He's got every single bit of it. It goes right to the line. And Coe's there to desperately knock it through in defence.
You've got to have those big guys on the goal line, don't you? It's happened a couple of times for Square where they've been able to defend.
Might have been Freckleton, in fact, who got the hand to it. Bloods lead 4 points now. 26 and a half played second term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yeah, well, from the kick in, it looks like that the Bloods are going to take possession through Cooper Leon again, so they'll have another chance. He'll go to the hot spot, and they will have another chance because a mark's been taken directly in front. And it's Keck again who'll have another shot, and all he just needs to do is put a couple of inches on the last kick, and it'll almost be identical, and it'll be a goal this time, Nick.
He's a bit closer this time, isn't he? So
yeah.
To say exactly what you said, same again, and you'll get the distance.
I tell you, Golden Square are looking for the sheds at half-time because they need to regroup. It's going to go to the line this time, but it's going to be inaccurate. So, well, they could have made Golden Square pay on a couple of occasions. It's now 6-5-41. The Bloods, the Dogs 5-6-36. 27 gone. Second term, Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
If you're a Square supporter, Winston, you may be thinking, well, we missed enough in the first quarter. It sort of evens itself out in a strange sort of a way as football so often. Strosh off the kick in, almost took a pack mark, taken by Johnston for the Bloods, handed it off to Walsh, kick along the boundary line, just pitches inside the field of play and bounces out for a throw in front of Christian Carter watching on the Golden Square bench. All will be tossed back in. Joel Peterson, John Hunter, Harcourt Premiership coach Nick Churchill with you on Footy Fresh. 28 minutes played second term. Bloods by 5 points, having kicked the last 4 goals of the game. And another chance here as Cameron takes it out of the ruck, drops it on the left hoof, sends it to full forward. Coe, 2 hands to it, can't take the mark, squirts out the back. Monty, he's got a run at it, shoots the handball toward James. Haddo's right there with him, might have dragged him down without it and did. And the free kick will go to the Dogs inside the defensive 50, but not before the half-time siren. A very profitable second term for South Bendigo. They went into it down by 14. They conceded the first goal of the quarter. They banged on the next 4 and missed a couple of chances late. And after trailing by 2 and a bit goals at quarter time, the Bloods lead by the better part of 1 at the half. South Bendigo 6-5-41 to Golden Square 5-6-36.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like.
Local radio station for live local footy. Only one local station supporting live community sport across central Victoria. The people out walking know, even bus drivers know. And you know, it's Bendigo's Fresh.
Returning for more live footy, sponsored by Sleep Vasectomy for a painless, quick procedure while you're asleep. And performed by a male doctor, no referral is required and no waiting list. Just go to sleepvasectomy.com.au. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Footy Live.
Half time at Wade Street. It is South Bendigo by 5 points, and a very odd scene in the middle of the ground on the resumption of the second half. We're not quite there yet, but Jake Thrum and Will Allen have just been sent off the ground for something that might have occurred either on the way to half-time or on the way back from half-time. So they both got yellow carded. The goal umpire was having a chat to field umpire Jeff Williamson, and Thrum and Allen have been sent from the ground. So both of them will be a man down for 15 minutes. South Bendigo kicked 4 unanswered goals in that second term to lead by 5 points. 6-5 plays 5-6. Footy Fresh. Here's John Hunter.
Right, up they go in the ruck, and it was the big man in camera that won it for the Bloods. Now Strosh paddles it in front of him. Offering support is Burke. It's picked up by the Bloods on half forward. It's Smith, Alex Smith. He'll go inside forward 50. Harvey is the target. Hands and knees. Struben's there offering support. Ball is only metres out. Oh, it's picked up and going around the body. I reckon they've got the second. The first of the second half now. Will Keck has picked it up, and they just had the numbers up forward. It was manic football, really, compared to what we've seen, and they extend the lead, so it's just what the Bloods needed. It's now, well, 7-5-47, Golden Square 5-6-36. Under a minute, third term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
What a start. Obviously, we talked about the big fella Cameron earlier after the half-time break, and he got his hands first on the ball again. Down into the forward line nice and quickly, and bang. Good, nice little roving goal there by Keck. He's obviously a bit of a live wire down there, isn't he?
11th for the season for Will Keck. Cameron was good in that second term. We spoke about the fact that Horbury started to get involved. Keck was involved, and a lot of their key defenders have been good. And, of course, Brock Harvey up forward with 3 goals.
Can we guess what happened at the start of that third quarter there with a couple of fellas getting sent off?
Neither Will Allen or Jake Thrum seemed all that sort of perturbed by it. They were both pretty calm when they came off the ground, sort of chatting to each other about it. So
What on earth has happened?
Yeah, I've not seen that before, but there was a bit of a conference between the umpires in the middle of the goal kickers to half-time. Johnny?
Well, 3 to Brock Harvey for the Bloods, singles to Oscar White, Torpy, Keck and Allen. And for Golden Square, all singles, Vaz, Geary, Brett, Freckleton and Macy Eaton.
The Bloods have got the last 5 of the ball game. Oh, Burke, the big fend-off, slips the tackle, hands it off to Hartley for the Dogs, enters the 50. One-on-one contest. Strosh got dragged down. In fact, it's Freckleton who was infringed upon by Van Human, and Hugh Freckleton will take it 40 metres out directly in front to try and find the instant reply for the Dogs.
Great play by Berkey out of the back line there. Just a nice bit of strength.
It's been good down there today as Jaden Burke. And here's Freckleton. Kicked one in the opening term. Sends it on its way from just beyond 40 metres. The strike is true. And the Dogs break the run of 5 consecutive Bloods goals. And we're back where we were at half-time with the margin at 5. 7-5-47 South Bendigo, 6-6-42 the Dogs. Freckleton's second, and he narrows the gap to just under a goal.
North Central half-time. Donald 3-5-23 at trailing Bort 5-2-32. And Wayne Smith is doing some great work up there for us also at the LBU game. LBU 4-5-29. Defeating at the moment Colbo 2-5-17 half-time.
Both preliminary finalists last year in the Heathcote District Footy League.
I
Johnny?
think you might be right, Joel. As we're back into the middle here, it'll be the Bloods that go forward. Over the top, McCaig takes possession of the football, left half forward. Short pass on the left. Keck is the target. He picks it up inside the boundary, but slipped at the wrong moment. A little bit, must have the short studs in. And he was looking dangerous too. He's looking goalward, and we'll have a ball in 20 around from goal. 42 playing 47, Blood lead. 3 minutes gone, third term. Footy fresh as Bendigo Football Live.
Tossed back into play. Smith to go up in ruck against Compston. Compston controls it down to Geary. Handball infield to Hartley. Knocked down. Spilt back to Geary. Bangs it on the boot outside the defensive 50 for the Dogs. Well done from Monty. He forged a path. And now it opens up for Brett. 2 bounces to right half forward. The 50 at his mercy. No one's there. He took a bounce. He dropped it. He got caught. He's holding the ball. He had no idea what to do, Joel Brett. There was no one at home. He was too far out to score, and he completely dropped his bundle at half forward and got caught with it. Miller shoots it across the defensive 50 to White for the Bloods, who comes back infield to Langley on the back point of the square.
Well, they're all falling over, aren't they? It's happened a couple of times this afternoon. As out of side receiving the ball will be Horbury. He's taken a mark for the Bloods. The coach of the Bloods. What a player he is. Long and high. He'll be looking for Cameron. Cameron gets his hands on the footy. Good contested, strong mark. In fact, he's standing so tall, it's almost uncontested. That's how he grabbed at it. He'll go inside forward 50. Strubens used the body. He was nearly away. He's still got a chance. He's still tapping it in front of him. Drives in after the football. Opportunities missed now. It's gone. Probably fortunate not get ping for dragging in. We'll have a ball up 35 out directly in front from the Bloods goal. The Bloods lead by 5 points. 5 minutes gone, third term.
Just with Brett there too, running into the Golden Square open forward line. I would love to just see him just chuck it on the boot. He took he tried to sell some candy to no one and got caught.
He was in a really awkward position out there. Keck from the stoppage tries to bring it back infield for the Bloods. Dogs with possession. Hartley spirals it outside the defensive 50 and it lands onto the chest of Monty. He floats the kick wide in front of Reeves. Miller did well to knock it away from him. Hickman and Miller spinning through the contest. Well done, Isaiah Miller. Couldn't get the hands free though. Pinched by Murley for the Dogs. Handball to Monty. Outer side wing for Golden Square. James flicks it backward over his head. Looking for a teammate on the end of it. Reeves got dragged down. Caught with the football. No free kick, said the umpire. Eventually they cross the arms. And we'll have a ball up just forward of centre, outer side of the ground for Golden Square. They trail by 5. 6 played third term. Pressure is high.
Reeves won the ball from the tap down from the ruck for Golden Square and put it forward. But in fact, it's overzealous with the kick and's put it out of bounds on the full. So it'll be Langley of the Bloods. 70 out from his defensive goal. In front of the swimming pool. Now he kicks it long and high to the Maroney wing. The scoreboard is shining brightly. Ground level now. Spills out. Overrunning the footy. It was good work, though, by Cooper Leon. He puts it in the direction. Well, Reeves, he's doing some hard work in this third term. Drags a player down. They're just letting it go, umpire Williamson. And they're getting a little bit excited on the outer side here. Umpire Williamson, I think you need to ball it up pretty quickly. Across half forward. It's in attack now for the Dogs. 42 playing 47. The Dogs trail. 6 minutes gone, third term.
Cameron slaps it out of ruck. And again, it's a good contest out there. Oscar White lays the tackle on Murley. Hasn't had a chance to use much of his speed this afternoon, Xavier Murley. That's Xavier with a Z, by the way, Johnny. Not
yes.
The traditional spelling. Geary hands it off to Hickman. Caught by Haddo. Held onto it for too long, did young Jack. And Brody Haddo was onto him in a flash. wins the free kick for the Bloods at right half-back and wants to scythe the kick up the middle of the ground. Opens things up to Torpy, rolls around onto his left boot, sends it inside the 50. Strubens comes and it gets a fist to the ball. It'll fall for Griffiths, 30 out from the South Bendigo goal. Paddles it to himself, got it around the handball to Keck. Now back to Griffiths, right forward pocket against the boundary line. Tried to slip the tackle, did he get caught high? Jeff Williams says there's nut, chuck it in.
Good umpiring.
Yep, 25 around from the Bloods goal. We'll have a throw in the right forward pocket.
Wasn't having a bar of it, Winston, was he?
No. Torpy's got a good left boot, hasn't he? He certainly drives the ball in there nice and deep. He's a good kick.
All left footers like that, Winston, you know that.
Yeah, I had to bring that up.
Yeah, you did. So now it's a ball in. Harvey getting involved. Has he kicked another miracle goal out of the back? He has! Oh, Brock Harvey. Well, it wasn't. It was on a par of the last one. It's his 4th goal of the afternoon. He picked it up off the deck. He slammed it around his body. He had momentum with the tackle that the tackler gave him, knew where the goals were, and put it through for another one. Was that a good description there, Winston?
I think you described that perfectly, mate. Look, he's got everything, hasn't he?
I'm going to go off my nut if he catches up.
Just his, set shots a goal. And then you've got that at the other end.
Let me give you the score. 8-5-53, the Blood 6-6-42. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Brock Harvey.
Been exciting today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's having a day out on the ground that he used to call home, playing his junior footy here at Golden Square. From the restart, Geary to get things moving for Golden Square. Sends a high ball inside the arc. Hare with a fist to it. Taken cleverly by Eaton. Got it off to Brett. Squaring kick. Stewart the target. Does the roving. Can he steady and find a path to goal? He bounces it toward goal. Was it touched? Umpire says no. Jack Stewart with a really nice bit of craft inside the forward 50. Shepherded through by Eaton on the line. And Golden Square again able to peg one back immediately. 8-5-53 South Bendigo lead. Golden Square 7-6-48. 9.5 played. Third term. Footy Fresh. Here's Bendigo Football Live.
Good bit of shepherding there, I thought, too. Would have been easy to maybe grab the footy, but nah, he knew it was going through the middle, so he let it go, and well done.
Not speaking out of school, I think, but Brock Harvey left Golden Square because there wasn't the opportunities that were presenting themselves at South Bendigo, and so did young Regan Harvey, so they were playing reserves footy here. So from the ball up again, it's now Golden Square who'll win it out of the middle. Reeves getting involved, shovel the ball out in the direction of Geary. Geary, he keeps his feet and then is tumbled over, and they all fall on top of the ball. Umpire Williamson, who's doing a pretty good job this afternoon. Has he been around very long? Halfway between the centre and left half forward. He'll throw it up. Golden Square in attack, but it's now the Bloods. The coach over the top, Horbury. He gives it by hand. It's to White. White now into the pocket. Sweeping after the football would be Griffiths, but the boundary line wins. 25 out. The goals were open if he could have collected, but that opportunity missed as well. It wasn't his fault, and we'll have another ball in. 48 playing 53. Bloods lead. 10 minutes gone. Third term. Footy Fresh Bendigo. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live. I'm getting excited, Joel. I'm telling you, this game is up and about now.
Will Elliott on the boundary line in the warm-up top, trying to stay warm for the Bloods. He's been set off for that 15 minutes along with Jake Thrum. They chain it out a defensive 50 here to the Dogs. Monty to Strosh. Now to Reeves. Slips the tackle and gets his kick away into the centre of the ground. Brett on a crossing lead through the middle. He's mucked this up already once when he got to half forward, Joel Brett. This time he lays it off inside the 50. Eaton keeps it in front of himself. 30 out from the Dogs' goal. Battling away hard there is Poyser. Two young guns going at it inside the forward 50. Great stuff from them both. Really good contest from the teenagers. And we'll have a ball up 35 metres out from the Dogs' goal left forward pocket.
Wow, exciting game now. Let's hope this one goes to the wire. It's got the hallmarks already. Up they go in the ruck. Cameron, he grabs it out, but they grab him. Umpire lets it go. Monty, he emerges to Reeves. He'll give it off by hand. A flying shot at goal. And, in fact, it might be a mark on the goal line. It is. It was the Bloods through Walsh. Walsh now a short pass. Oh, that kick is smothered. In trouble here is Poyser. He needs to be poised, but it's Golden Square now. A handball looks in the direction of Monty. He's tackled. Good work, Bloods. Intensity is up. Ball it up, umpire. That's what it deserves. Deep in the forward zone for the Dogs. 48 playing 53. The Bloods still lead.
Going short across goal to a contest. And, oh, jeez.
Real coach killer type stuff.
It was
Real coach
Hard to
killer.
watch.
Zach Hare's a little bit sore inside defensive 50 for the Bloods. We'll have another ball up out at Dower Park. Gisborne by 22 points over Kangaroo Flat. And out at Tannery Lane, it is Sandhurst by 13 over Strathfield Safe. 37 plays 24. Clearing kick for the Bloods from the contest, but it's taken by Stewart, who sends an absolute moonraker to full forward. Cameron had a play at it. Went without the ball. White socketed off the ground. Cleared the area, but it's all dogs around the football. Stewart's hemmed in along the boundary line. In fact, it's Monty who gets onto the left peg. Sends it to full forward. And he's found Geary, who kicked the first of the game and marks 30 out directly in front.
An unlikely target, Jack Geary, Winston.
Yeah, he just popped up there, didn't he? He's sort of like, yeah, he's in the middle of some big men, and he's just come and grabbed that out of nowhere.
So he kicked 2 goals all of last season, Jack Geary, in 21 appearances. He steers this through for his second today and hands his side back the lead. 8-6-54 Golden Square. South Bendigo 8-5-53. 13 and a half gone third term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live. And Winston, we're being treated this afternoon.
There's some really sort of tough pressure football down there, and it just shows you, he just stood up, took the mark and kicked the goal. And he's one of those guys that when he looks like he's running to kick, he's never going to miss.
It's the Dogs by point out at Eagle Hawk, thanks to Richard Jones. 14-8-92. Eagle Hawk lead Castlemaine 2-1-13. And at the restart here, Cameron got the tap, but it's all with the Dogs. Hartley, a little give that was neat, and he gave it to Stewart. Stewart's getting his hands on the footy. Inside forward 50 to Brett. Brett dishes it off now to Barrett. Drew Barrett into the pocket. They dive on top of the ball on the footy. It'll be a stoppage. It'll be a ball up. 20 around from the goal that the Dogs attack.
We talked about momentum, didn't we? You know, it goes one way, it goes the other. It's probably with Square at the minute.
Cameron of the Bloods tapped it straight to Jack Geary of the Dogs, who had a shot at goal, but it went out of bounds on the full, and it'll be a free kick, and it'll go to Isaiah Miller of the Bloods.
So Miller, his second tenure as a Blood, Sandhurst Junior, went and played a couple of seasons at Rochester, and now back in South Bendigo colours, drives it long outside the defensive 50. Now Cameron was worked under it by Compston. Taken at ground level by Coe. He got wrapped up by Griffiths. Comes out to White, who kicks and finds Harvey. Looks around for Strubens inside the forward 50. Has the position, and the kick is perfect. Harvey drops it to where only Strubens could access the ball. And he takes the mark in the left forward pocket, 35 from home.
That was up there a long time, wasn't it? Like, he had a lot of time to cover. A lot of ground to cover in that time.
Perfectly positioned though, wasn't it?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
always. It needed to be that wide, being that high, didn't it?
Yeah.
Hasn't had the kicking boots on today as Strubens. He curls this one home expertly, and he hands South back the lead.
He looked a bit more comfortable from the boundary, didn't he, than straight in front earlier?
Goal for goal here at Wade Street. South Bendigo 9-5-59. Golden Square 8-6-54. 16 gone. Third term, Strubens with his first of the game. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
He'll be happy to get on the board, as he had a couple of chances early, but that was a great kick, wasn't it?
Oh, and the effect of Harvey, not only hitting the scoreboard himself, but to create like that, it needed to be perfect, and it was the kick. So, back in the middle. It'll be the restart. This game this afternoon is got the hallmarks of a classic. Now it's Compston. He wins the tap. Socket off the ground by the Bloods through Miller. A fortunate one that end up with Keck, who takes a mark, broadcast wing. Kick into the middle, he goes as well. It's a 2-on-1 contest, but Torpy was good enough for the Bloods. He looked to go quickly. He's got players breaking for him. Which way will he go? He'll go down the guts. Strubens, he sat underneath it. It was a poor kick in. Hickman now, of the Dogs, off half back, sweeping, series of handballs. Ended up with Stewart. Stewart, short pass. Now, slowing it down to a teammate. We'll just look what to do with Vaz. Vaz now on half-back, slowing down the game. Now he goes long, down the line. They'll set themselves. Good punch to advantage, but it was the Bloods it was advantage of in Horbury. He was tackled, and across half-forward now for the Dogs. Left half-forward will have a ball up. 54 playing 59. Bloods lead, 17 gone, third term.
Cameron out of the ruck for South Bendigo, clearing kick. Good body work from Burke. Nudged Smith under it. And bullocking his way through that pack was McCaig for the Bloods. And they take it away here. Brooks is let loose. Kicks inside forward 50. Not being able to mark was Shelton. Torpy was straight onto it. Curls it around the corner. And he misses it away to the left-hand side. And the margin is one straight kick. 9-6 south, 8-6 square, 18 gone, third term.
Had a bit of time then, didn't he? Really, Torpy? I thought he...
Yeah, he probably rushed. It was felt some implied pressure as Coe kicks it in from fullback for the Dogs. It was beyond 50, but a big punch defensively did well for the Bloods. It'll be a ball in, 60 metres out from goal. They're attacking now. They're building the Bloods. They look dangerous down forward as the umpire will throw it in, 50 metres out from goal. It's a kick the difference, one straight goal. The Bloods lead this one at Wade Street. Ground level, hands and knees. The ball emerges. It's with Griffiths. He gives it off to Brooks. Brooks goes around the body, inside. It's Coe, though, defensively. Handballs it to James of the Dogs, beyond 50. Griffiths again used his body. Hickman getting involved. Umpire, in fact, blows his whistle, and it will be a free kick, and it goes to Hickman of the Dogs.
And is it going to be 50? It is. Don't think McGregor was still on the mark. Cameron, I should say. Well, he is McGregor. That is his first name. McGregor, Colin Cameron. Yep. Thanks very much. Keeping up with that.
Haven't been many 50s today, have they?
No, they haven't. That's going to have to come back behind the mark too. Hickman wanted to move it on to Hartley, but he's called back. So Hickman from centre half forward lays it off inside the 50. It's a lovely kick, and he finds James. And Brodie James has got it in the pocket. He chips it short, and Vaz is all alone. You can hear the frustration beneath us from the South Bendigo bench. As Braden Vaz, who we really haven't seen a lot of since quarter time, not sure he had the pill in the second quarter. He's marked this 45-degree angle left of centre, 35 from home. Kicked one in the opening term. 4 so far this season. On the approach from 40 metres out, sends it on its way and ties the scores. Really entertaining third term here at Wade Street. And they keep writing chapters into what is fast becoming an enthralling story this afternoon. 9-6-60 apiece, South Bendigo and Golden Square. 20 minutes played in the third period. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
The goal umpire didn't move. He just watched it sail over his head, and that was a great kick from that pocket. There's been a couple missed from there, so it might be a bit of a tricky spot, but there was no problem there for Braden Vaz at all. He just popped that straight through the middle.
Back into the middle, the big man Cameron for the Bloods wins the tap. Horbury, he was on the end of it and then gave it back to Cameron. Cameron goes inside forward 50, but John Coe was there. He's pretty good. He marked it, then he spread it wide to Hickman. Hickman, left half back, short pass, finds James of the Dogs. Short pass to John Coe, who ran for him. Defensive side of the centre, handball to a sweeping Dogood. Just sweeps off the tackle and then goes long inside forward 50. Danger signs for the Bloods here. Vaz is in the area lurking, but Cameron, the big ruckman, picked it up. But he was lumbering in the end and they grabbed him. Jack Geary just lost possession. He might have been held without the footy. Umpire let it go. And umpire Williamson's done a great job this afternoon. Time has not wearied him. It's been a good effort. It's 60 apiece, all tied up, 21 minutes gone, third term.
You said he used to umpire you when you were playing junior footy, John.
He did.
That's his 50th year, apparently, of umpiring senior football.
Freckleton bounces it forward for the Dogs. It's tapped through. Trying to get it there was Langley, and Jeff Williamson says toss it back in. Is that legit? 50th year? You just made that up.
But the thing is too, what I did notice, the umpires today, we haven't really noticed them. They haven't had an impact. We've only really questioned them once when they sent those couple of fellas off at the start of the third quarter. But when you don't notice them, that's what means they're doing a good job.
They do a good job routinely. To the Bendigo Umpires Association, one of the best umpiring groups in Victorian footy. Griffiths inside the defensive 50, outlets to Horbury. Wonderful juggling mark. Taken on the outer side by Torpy, tracking it back over his head and picking it up off his bootlaces as he dragged it in, sends it into the centre of the ground. Leon marks 75 from home. He can really open things up now to Hare. The skipper's got it 52 out, lays it into the pocket for Strubens. Beautiful play, South Bendigo. And Strubens has got it in the left forward pocket, 25 from home, 45-degree angle.
Like Will Allen down here looks like he's about to go on. He's got a very wry smile on his face. I think he's been getting a bit of lip from his reserve teammates down there.
So scores tied before the kick from Strubens, who curls it around for his second and hands South back the lead again. 10-6-66 the Bloods. The Dogs 9-6-60. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live. 2 in the quarter for Steve Strubens.
He loves that kick around the corner, doesn't he? I think after seeing that first goal he kicked just recently, that second one was never going to miss. He's got that worked out. Great bit of play leading up to it as well. He's really making his presence felt at the forward line for South.
Ma goes into the middle for the Bloods. Horbury's there as well, so's Leon. And the big man Cameron. He's been influential. Up he goes in the ruck now. It's a big punch forward. They look to attack here. They build off half forward. It's a nice little collect there by White. White goes inside forward 50. Kent swoops on the footy, puts it on the left, and it's an awkward, ugly little whatever. What was that, a dead pigeon you described there? But he
ambitious vest.
Yeah, he got pushed in the tackle, so it's out of bounds on the full, and the free kick will go to Jaden Burke of the Dogs.
That was like a dying pigeon. That was a bit more chaotic than a dead pigeon. There was a little bit more going on than when it's just sort of wobbling through the air.
Not as if he's been shot. He's just dying a natural
Get
death.
your descriptions right, Johnny.
Right.
Here's Burke, who launches it outside the defensive 50. Vaz takes the pack mark. They can move it quickly now, Golden Square. Hartley across the centre of the ground. Kicks to Geary, who almost marked it while he was on the ground, having been dealt with by Miller. Gets a free kick. Right on the front edge of the centre square is Jack Geary. Pulls his kick to the pocket. It's a lovely delivery. Really good vision to find Tom Strosh. And the young fella's got it 20 metres out. He's almost directly in front. He too can tie the scores here at 66 apiece.
You did mention, didn't you, about the South back line, and if Square are getting it in there quickly to their big men, they may get caught out, and apparently that's sort of happening a little bit at the minute.
And Strosh makes them pay as the Dogs go in to end this time. And it's tied up once more. 10-6-66 apiece. 25 minutes played in the third period. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live, and these two sides so far in this term have combined for 9 goals.
Tom Strosh, I saw I think Dean Strosh down there. That'd be have to be some relation, I'd imagine.
Son of.
Yeah, very nice to see. Very good name at Golden Square, isn't it?
Yeah, and he has
Neville Strosh, obviously another great Golden Square name.
the restart. Compston won. He gives it to James now. He'll go in fact, it's Monty. Monty of the Dogs inside forward 50, and he's taken another one, the son of a gun. In fact, it's Freckleton. Geez, they looked alike.
I've done it 4 times today as well.
They look alike when they move, don't they? They're
Apart
skinny.
from the sleeve tattoo that Freckleton's got.
Yeah, but Freckleton, but it was a nice bit of movement inside forward 50. It was a good story while it lasted. Freckleton now should kick this goal and doesn't. Lets the Bloods off the hook, but they take the lead for the first time in the second half, I would imagine. 10-7, no, they have been in front a little bit, but that's another good story if it was true. 67 playing 66. It doesn't matter, we've got a cracker on here at Wade Street. 21 minutes gone, third term.
A lot of stories are good if they're true.
Yeah.
It's one of the key tenets of a story.
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story, Joel.
Long kick in from Torpy. And the Dogs take control of it at half forward. Geary gave it to Thrum. Thrum sends a high ball inside the 50. Stewart with a rise, couldn't take the mark. Ball on the deck inside the arc for the Dogs. Leon got taken high. And he'll win a free kick for South Bendigo. 35 out from the Bloods. Defensive goal. Wants to move it on immediately. Out toward Keck. Engages in body contact with Jack Geary. Oh, Harvey Did some bullocking work on the outer side, which was good. Got rid of Barrett, but the Dogs are back in possession. Geary on centre wing, takes control, chips it forward, finds Vaz.
Vaz goes by hand. It's a Monty. Geary ran on, received a handball inside forward 50. And here he is, Tommy Strosh, sitting in the pocket. These lookalikes breaking for him into the goal square.
Good job he hasn't got a sleeve tattoo.
Yeah, well, we imagine if he does go and get one, if he wins the grand final, that'll make it difficult for us. But Tom Strosh, geez, he's a pretty tough angle. It's tight in the swimming pool. In fact, he is in the swimming pool. Let's see how he kicks it. He kicks it long and strong and kicked a minor score. Gee whiz. It was close. Actually, some of his teammates were up in the goal square, so it must have been close. 2-point margin now, 28 minutes gone, third term. Footy fresh. Is Bendigo Football Live? I'll take a breath, Joel.
I think they just heard you. They sort of riding your celebration.
Yeah.
Aubrey's got it from the kick in. Goes across the face of goal to Van Humen. These have really amped up in this third term. It's a pretty scrappy game in the first half, and this is terrific football now. Van Humen's long kick down the line. Harry Burke dragged down by Cameron and chucked out toward the boundary line, and he'll get a free. I'm not sure Cameron will be able to believe himself as he queries that with the umpire. So Harry Burke will take it from right in front of our broadcast position. 28 and a half gone in this term. Squares kicked 5 goals and the Bloods have kicked 4 in this quarter, so we should have a bit of time to play yet. Smith at half-back for South Bendigo. Handballed it straight to Murley. He was dragged down by Leon. Now to Hartley. He's dragged down. Oh, Geary gets crunched. And the free kick in there goes to the Bloods.
He dived in head first at Geary, didn't he? There, he was a bit lucky not to get hurt.
And the pressure starts to really ramp up between these two sides. Both of them can sense the opportunity that's on offer here at Golden Square this afternoon.
Haddo swings it wide across half-back and finds Isaiah Miller. The Bloods with the footy. Short pass, Langley receives. Still in the defensive arc. Handball to a running Miller. He tries a torpedo. It's ineffective. That was a poor decision because he's kicked it straight to Thrum. There was no need for it. Thrum spreads it wide now to Coe. I don't like that, Winston. That was terrible, wasn't it?
Oh look, he had other options. I guess he was just trying to get it out of the area. But yeah, if you play in front and there's a kick like that, which the square player was Thrum, just Lux of Fortune just fell in his lap.
Hickman of the Dogs looks for Compston, outer side wing. They've got numbers through Monty, collected it off the carpet. Then he puts it on the left, inside forward 50. Dogs are lurking, but it's all with Keck, in fact with Leon. Leon, he goes short. Short pass, and he spots up Tate Poyser.
It's a wonderful bit of work from Torpy inside the defensive 50. Poyser moves it on to McCaig, and now infield to Horbury. Harvey's at half forward. White's breaking inside the 50. Horbury goes toward Cameron. Hand to it, can't take the mark. Shelton's there, shoved off it by Strubens. Then he rides the bump, got the handball away. Keck around the corner, near side behind. 1 point ball game. Players are out on their feet. We're at the 30-minute mark. Only problem is there's another 30 minutes to go. We haven't even reached three-quarter time as yet.
And let's hope it's as good as the last 30, because this is a classic game of footy. Thrum from fullback. Short pass. You spot up a teammate. The Dogs need to build through Barrett as the siren sounds. So it is a 1 point margin. Golden Square 10-8-68. They lead the Bloods 10-7-67.
So they're split by the barest of margins at three-quarter time. It was square by 14 points in the opening term. South Bendigo kicked the last 4 goals of the second term to lead it by 5 at the half. The teams combined for 9 goals in that third term. We had 4 lead changes, a couple of ties, and we go to three-quarter time with only 1 point splitting South Bendigo and Golden Square. It's the hosts 10-8-68. The Bloods are 10-7-67.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home.
.com.au. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Footy Live.
What a thriller we've got in our hands at Wade Street this afternoon. Round 4 in Bendigo footy, and South Bendigo and Golden Square are separated by a 1 point at three-quarter time. 10-8-68 Golden Square. The Bloods 10-7-67. Joel Peterson, John Hunter, Nick Churchill with you. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday afternoon wherever you are, whether you're listening on 101.5 in Central Victoria or the live stream by the Bendigo Footy Netball League Facebook page. Great to have you with us. And what a last quarter we got in Prospect here. Golden Square led by 14 at quarter time, the Bloods by 5 at half time, and it is the Dogs by a point at three-quarter time. Who's kicked the goals, Johnny?
Well, Brock Harvey is kicked 2 nominations for Goal of the Year this afternoon. He's kicked 4 in total. 2 to Strubens, who were very good goals, and singles to White, Torpy, Keck and Will Allen. And for the Dogs, well, multiple goal kickers, Vaz, Geary and Freckleton have 2 apiece, and singles to Strosh, Brett, Stewart and Macy Eaton.
Best players for Square, I thought, especially in that quarter. I thought Thrum obviously getting a fair bit of the footy, Monty, and I also thought Tom Strosh with a goal and a chance to kick another one was getting a fair bit of the footy.
The Bloods, I mean, it's been a remarkably different South Bendigo team since quarter time. They looked pretty bereft in that opening term. A lot of it started with the work of Cameron in the middle, who's been outstanding all day. I've really liked the game of Sam Griffiths across half forward, just sort of scrapping and fighting his way for the footy. Oscar White's done some nice things. Brody Haddo's been good in the middle of the ground. And, of course, Brock Harvey with 4 goals has been a big focal point for the Bloods this afternoon. Three-quarter time in the North Central Footy League, Donald and Bort locked in a really close encounter. It is the Magpies 8-3-51 over the Royals 7-7-49 at three-quarter time. In that game at Dower Park in the Bendigo Footy League, Gisborne by 36 over Kangaroo Flat. Sandhurst by 9 over Strathfield Say as well out at Tannery Lane. And here at Wade Street, it is 1 point between the Dogs and the Bloods. Final term underway. And they fight for the footy in the middle. James is taken to ground by Haddo, who's applied plenty of pressure in the centre for the Bloods today. He's been a tackling machine in there as the couple of time best and fairest. As Cameron and Compston crash into each other once more. Haddo to Horbury, gets a kick away for the Bloods and marked by Griffith, who's 65 from home, maybe a bit further than that, pokes it inside the 50. Oh, Burke came across, knocked it away from Strubens, and the Dogs can take possession. James away to Shelton, kick down the line. Leon got a hand on it. Cameron's there. Handball infield. Griffiths to Leon. Leon to Miller. Miller to half forward. Good kick finds White.
And he gives it to Haddo by hand. He'll go inside forward 50 to a breaking Strubens, who had time and space and took a mark. And he's looking goalward. He's looking for Harvey, in fact. I'm not sure if he likes his chances distance-wise, but to me, when he's within distance, maybe he's worried about the breeze, which is not evident, but he's now straightening them up.
Yeah, he's looking around, wasn't he?
Now Strubens, he's the paid goal kicker along with Harvey. You need to kick it. He stepped wide, which is an indication he doesn't like his chances of making the distance. And right on the goal line, in fact, he struggled, and it is a minor score. So, all tied up again, 68 apiece, 2 minutes gone. Last term, Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Might have put Jaden Burke onto Strubens too, perhaps, and I think Burke just did a great bit of gutsy play there by running back into the pack. He's a brave little fella, that guy, I reckon.
He's been great.
He's good, hasn't he? Yeah.
He's been great. Both of them have been good, Harry and Jaden, but Jaden particularly. I mean, you know, key forward, he's kicked 4 goals this season, kicked 55 last season, but he's looked every bit a key back down there, and he's the spare down there at the moment for Golden Square. Marshalling the troops, thrown back in. Cameron from the stoppage. Horbury had a hold of Hartley, no free kick. Geary tried to fling the handball out of the pack. Miller knocked it back the other way for the Bloods. Cameron clean hands, off to Griffith. Griffiths kicks to full forward. Getting back there with the flight of the ball was Burke to thump it out of play, Jaden Burke. And it'll be tossed back in. Right forward pocket. Bloods in attack. All square at square. 2.5 gone. Final term. 10-8 apiece, the Dogs and the Bloods.
It's a classic. The Bloods attack. Darkening skies. It will not rain within this game, you would not think. So, big contest on our hands. Constant, a double fister. It's worked its way to 35 metres out for the Bloods who are attacking, and umpire Williamson blows his whistle, crosses his arms and says, I will do it all again. So it's a stoppage. Bloods in attack. Compston's there. Cooper Leon ended up with a footy and slammed it forward for a minor score, and they take the lead by a solitary point. 10-9-69 to 10-8-68. Bloods lead. 3 minutes gone. Final term.
We've been getting a fair bit of the ball, Leon, the last couple of minutes. He's a solid fella, that guy, and I reckon he's had a pretty good day.
So Thrum kicks in for the Dogs. Thoughts of Harcourt Premiership coach Nick Churchill with us. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live. Turnover. Miller's got it for South Bendigo at half forward. Rolls onto his right boot. Sends it toward full forward. Great mark from Jaden Burke. Standing tall in defence once more. Chips short to Reeves. The Harding medalist comes down the boundary line over the head of Eaton. Out of play. It'll be thrown in broadcast wing.
Not a bad position, loose in the back line, is it? Jaden Burke there. There's no responsibility, really, is there?
He's had a pretty good afternoon. Now, this is danger signs for the Bloods, because so often you see it where a team attacks and doesn't kick a goal, and then the opposition whip it down the other end and kick one. Let's see what the Bloods have got in store. And the Dogs. Up they go in the ruck. Cameron monstered Compton a little bit on that occasion. Reeves picks it up, gives it to Hartley of the Dogs. Hurried kick forward. Torpy, he'll take possession. Quick hurried kick. Oh, it was effective. Smith, it had to be picture perfect, and it was. Smith now with a dirty mo underneath his nose. Have a look at that.
Whack.
Gee whiz. Plays on. Oh, he's trying to step around Hickman and did in the end. Now he kicks it long, looking for the big man. Oh, good. Cameron had his hands on the footy. James feigned for a free kick. Cameron shovels it out to Cooper Leon. He picks it up at his ankles. Now he goes inside forward 50. They'll set themselves. Oh, Nelly a mark. Just missed out here. The Bloods, I reckon, an opportunity missed. It was a juggling effort. Goes over the boundary line. And it will be a ball in 30 around from the Bloods' goal. They attack and they lead by a point.
Moving the ball quite well, South, aren't they? I think they're pressure around the footy. They're getting that first option out of the pack situation and moving the ball well into their forward line.
And the only team to have scored so far in this final term, and it's inside forward 50 for the Bloods. Compton for the Dogs, slaps it out of ruck. Haddo's at the fall, the football. Griffiths fights for it, so too Smith. It's not coming out. Another ball up, 35 metres out from the South Bendigo goal. Trailed by 14 at quarter time, led by 5 at half time, trailed by a point at 3/4 time, and they're up by a point at the moment. Jack Geary from the stoppage, handball away to James, tumbles it outside the defensive 50, off the hands of Cameron. It's taken by Brett, who just bangs it forward out toward the boundary line at left half forward. It'll be tossed back into play, 70 metres out from the Golden Square goal. They haven't had too many opportunities forward of centre. They've got one now. 6 minutes played, final term. 1 point separates the Bloods and the Dogs.
You just can't sense who's going to break. They're both holding their nerve at the moment. It'll be Cameron against Compton. Cameron's front position. Cameron won it. Hickman sharked it. There's a hold off the ball. Well, it was Cameron. I think Compton probably sensed the big body and grabbed him at the wrong moment. Cameron by hand to Miller of the Bloods. Isaiah Miller on the wing. Thrum, good punch to the front of the pack. Offering support now was Burke, but he just coughs it up. Bloods on the end of a handball is Cooper Leon. He fell over. Smith now, he couldn't get it. Captain Jack Geary getting involved. It's a 30-metre handball to Burke. Burke to a running Reeves. Reeves on the left. They'll go deep inside forward 50, the Dogs. Umpires letting it go. Players feigning for free kicks. Langley's there. He dives in over the top of it. 35 out. Hartley dives in top of the footy. manages to trap it in. Ma getting involved as well and will have a ball up. As the Dogs attack, 1 point margin, Bloods lead.
Where we are at the moment, you can just sort of just see the ferociousness of the play, isn't it? It's just right underneath us then.
It's been really like that for most of the second half. And they're locking it inside the forward 50 here of the Dogs. Miller's under siege this time, tackled by Brett. Umpire crosses the arms, ball up. Deep in defence for the Bloods. The Dogs haven't scored here in this final term. We're 7 minutes through it. South by a goal. Monty carves a path through the stoppage. Kicks to full forward. It's across the face of goal, and it's marked by Van Human, who rolls around onto his right boot, sends it out toward Griffiths. Reeves got a hand in there. Staying with the play was White. He's been excellent for South this afternoon. Hands off to Hare. The captain down the outer side up toward Harvey. Did he get a shove in the back? He did. And Brock Harvey with 4 goals to his name. He'll take it from centre wing on the outer side.
What I like about it, Winnie, both clubs want it, don't they? You can sense it.
South looking at breaking that bad run of losses at Golden Square today.
The short part went to Griffiths of the Bloods. He now 50-metre ball, sets it to White. White got his hands off it but couldn't grab it. And we've got players cramping as we speak. 70 around from the goal that the Bloods are attacking.
The Bucks party hasn't left either today. They're still here in full song.
Yeah, the minivan's still parked on the side of the ground there.
Well, why would you leave? There's a lot to like about this game of footy. As it's a hurried kick by Haddo. He won it from the ball in. Managed to keep it in play momentarily, and we'll have another ball in. We'll do it all again. Outer side, 70 around from the Bloods goal, who lead by 1 solitary point. 9 minutes gone, final term.
Footy's good, and I don't know whether you got one early, but the chicken burgers are pretty good as well down on the barbecue.
Don't say that to Winnie.
Here at Wade Street. Sorry to remind you there, Winnie.
Yeah, waited too long.
From the contest, Reeves takes it away for Golden Square. Handballs off to Hartley. Kicks toward half forward. Strosh is up to meet it. Chips it inside the forward 50. Through the hands of Stewart. Fighting for it. Torpy 2-on-1. Numbers with Square. Now he gets support from Hickman to Stewart. They lock it up inside the forward 50. But it was pretty well done from Braden Torpy to at least halve the contest. And a ball up inside the arc for the Dogs. They trail by a point. 10 minutes through the final term. Haddo took it off the hands of Compston. Banged it into the middle of the ground. High footy sits up for Jaden Burke. 3-on-1 favours South Bendigo. Allen kicks it along the ground. White fights for it. Barrett fights him. And it spills to Allen on the wing for the Bloods. Kick infield. Lovely ball toward Griffith. But Harry Burke did well to get a fist in there. Spilt to Coe, shares it with Thrum, and the Dogs open it up toward the Peter Moroney wing.
Now Thrum, he'll move it quickly. He'll go further afield to the wing. Duguid was his target, but Cooper Leon swooped on it. Hickman offering support for the Dogs. Takes possession of the football, but he's tackled by Brock Harvey up the field, and we'll have a stoppage. A ball up underneath the scoreboard, the Peter Moroney wing. It's bright, the scoreboard. It shows the Bloods up by a point. 69 playing 68. Jack Geary, a hurried kick from the stoppage. Inside shallow, forward 50. Hartley grabs it. Somehow got boot to ball. He goes to the top of the square. Hare's under pressure. Big punch. 40 metres out. They've got the numbers here. Oh, White, he managed to get a boot to ball. Numbers are with the Bloods. They get tackled though, and it will be a stoppage. Good play. And 45 out, directly in front. Dogs attack, will have a ball up. They trail by 1 point. 11 points gone. Final term, Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
One thing we haven't spoken about too much today, the Bloods have done a great job on Joel Brett, who hasn't been cited a lot. Drew Barrett gets his kick toward full forward for Square. Oh, Van Human got run down, just got the handball away. Kick around the body. Hickman throws it toward goal. It's across the face, and we're tied up again. 10-9, 69 apiece. 11 gone, final term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Footy's pretty hot. You don't want to hang on for too long at the minute, do you?
Torpy will kick it in from fullback for the Bloods. He'll step outside the box, then send it towards the Peter Moroney wing. It's a bullet ball. It was an old-fashioned worm burner, and kicks it to Cooper Leon, who looks like he grabbed his hamstring a little. Might be cramped because he's going to kick the footy, and he kicks it long and high to the true wing position. Oh, it was a push every day of the week by Berg, and he gives it to Big Cameron. Cameron now of the Bloods, looking further afield. What's on offer? Not a lot. He's going to have to kick it down the line. He does. They'll set themselves. Big fly. Jack Geary took a strong contested mark for the Dogs. Now he'll look to settle. Short pass to the wing, finds Burke. Halfway between half back and the centre. Burke will go to half forward.
Kicks it there now. Hare knocks it away from Monty and then tried to keep it in, and it goes out of play in the end. South Captains had a bit of the job on Brett today. It's been a really determined defensive effort from South Bendigo since quarter time, from both sides, to be truthful. Out at Eagle Hawk, three-quarter time, the Borough 23-13, 151 to Castlemaine, 3-1-19, 6 goals to Darcy Richards. Leading the way for the Borough there, thanks to Richard Jones for his updates. Jake Thrum through the centre of the ground. Now Geary, the play on it at half forward, but a good mark's taken by Marr. Sam Marr takes it. One of their best last week for the Bloods. A crucial intervention here across half back. A kick long up the Peter Moroney wing over the head of Griffiths. Ball on the deck and Square have numbers. Hickman sends it inside the forward 50. That'll float almost out of bounds on the full. Stayed alive. They were awake to it back there. Walsh tried to slap it across the boundary line and did. And finds a bit of safety inside defensive 50 for the Bloods. 10-9-69 apiece. They cannot be split, South Bendigo and Golden Square. 13 minutes gone, final term. We haven't had a goal in this quarter yet.
No, and the Dogs are attacking to the city end. It's a hurry kick out of the pack that ends up with Brett. Brett goes around the body. It's a high ball. It'll go to the hot spot. But Torpy, he just flew from the side and took a contested checks mark for the Bloods. Cool heads is what required. Short pass. It's now a long ball. It was from Brooks. Brooks goes beyond 50 for the Bloods. On the end of a handball is Marr. He kicks it long to the wing. Will Allen got his hands on the ball. Cameron, he's dispossessed. Zabe Murley did well, got one around the shoulder, and will get a free kick for the Dogs.
So Xavier with a Z swings it across the centre of the ground. He finds Liam Barrett, pokes it forward. Stewart was his target. He slipped over, so he found brother Drew. Drew kicks inside the 50, and Leon ran in and pinched it. He came from nowhere and plucked it out of the air. And Cooper Leon takes it inside defensive 50 for the Bloods. Chips short to Miller.
The South Bendigo backline, we've talked about that a bit earlier, they're really standing up in this last quarter, aren't they? They've been under the pump all quarter and they're doing a great job.
Miller to Torpy, who's been one of their best. So too's Miller. He's been prolific for the Bloods. They had plenty of work to do early, did the South defence. Game's been largely on their terms since. Keck in from the back, couldn't take the mark. Allen brought it down to Horbury. Horbury's handball infield to Haddo. Goes inside the 50 to Harvey. Brock Harvey marks. 40 out. Just better than a 45-degree angle to the right.
What do you reckon, lads? He's got 4.
Oh,
his kicking's been pretty
Mark it in the book.
4 goals for Brock Harvey on return to the senior team at the ground at which he played his junior footy. He'll strike this from 45 metres out.
Oh, no.
It starts right. It comes back, but not enough. It's a minor score.
You might be taking that slap back off you, Johnny.
And the Bloods have the lead by a point. 10-10 plays 10-9 through 16 minutes of the last.
Golden Square have moved it quickly from fullback, and it's ended up with Shelton, who kicks it to the outer side wing, the Moroney wing. Horbury getting involved, and umpire's letting it go. You're going to have to ball it up. The intensity at the ball, when it stops, when the ball's not mobile, you just got to blow the whistle.
And we had 9 goals in that third term. We are 16 minutes into the last, and we have not had one.
True centre wing, the Peter Moroney wing. Cameron of the Bloods wins the tack. Hickman's getting involved. Strosh offer support. Picks it up and bangs it inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Hare, he picks it up. The skipper of the Bloods. Handball forward to Marr. He goes further afield now to Horbury. Captain and coach getting involved for the Bloods, but it's a poor kick. Oh, a fumble mark. It should have been taken there by Harrisonburg and couldn't. Umpire Williamson blows his whistle halfway between the wing and half forward. The Bloods attack will ball it up. 1 point margin, Bloods lead, final term.
You can just feel the tension, be it a supporter or for the players. The kind of game you can't take your eyes off. It's been enthralling stuff in the centre in this second half. Centre of the ground now. Ball bounced awkwardly for the Bloods. Torpy inside 50, and the kick's marked by Keck. Lovely pass from Poyser. And Will Keck drags it into his chest. He'll have to kick it every bit of 50. 45-degree angle out to the right. And Poyser gets a really nice round of applause from the south bench as he comes off. What can Will Keck do with this? 11 goals so far this season. He starts it right. It's coming. It's coming. It is there.
What a kick.
South Bendigo could be the drought breakers here this afternoon. Will Keck steps up in a big-time moment, drives one through, and the Bloods lead by 7 late on here at Wade Street. 11-10-76 to square 10-9-69. 18 played final term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
I thought too there with that set shot, he's probably better off if he was on his a left footer from that pocket, but again, never really looked like it. Straight off the boot.
He gave it to the crowd too, didn't he?
Goalpost height. Oh, I loved it.
He must have been getting a lip.
He's
in
in
the
the
back in the
golden
middle.
square pocket.
Cameron wins the tap. He's been influential, but Compston, he picks it up off his ankles and puts it forward for the Dogs. Have they got a chance? Oh, it's going to spill to Barrett. Barrett on the left. He's got nobody home. He didn't really look. Now the Bloods, they're going to rappel through Johnson. He didn't look. And Hartley for the Dogs. So a little bit of skill error coming into the game. Tired legs. Also a little bit of panic, one would suggest. Hartley now. Of the Dogs, he'll go right to the line. It won't be a goal. Strosh got his hands on the footy but couldn't mark it in the end, and it just managed to, well, it doesn't sneak through for a point. It's hard up against the point post. Dogs attack 76 playing 69. Bloods lead 20 minutes gone, final term.
Might not be a bad result for the Golden Square to keep it alive. Ball tossed back in. Cameron in ruck. Compston wins it down. Geary fights for the football. Dragged down by Marr. Miller's on the bottom of the pack, and we'll have a ball up. 30 out from the Dogs' goal. In the sunlight at the Maple Street end. The light fading. Maybe Golden Square's hopes of winning going with it. Compston decisively down in ruck. Back into the corridor. Haddo's kick around the body. Tumbles it out toward half-back. Allen slaps it on for the Bloods. Jaden Burke, the last one in the chain. Allen stayed with the play. Picked it up. Dumped it on the boot. Inside the forward 50. Bounces awkwardly for Shelton. Up to meet it. Jaden Burke's there. Harry Burke's there. Burke fights for the football. Got the handball away. And a free kick for too high. Free kick will go to Horbury against John O'Coe. And Horbury will take it from right on the 50. Coach needs to make a cool decision here.
He's taking a bit of time up. I think he thinks he's going to have a shot.
He's too far. He's too far.
20 minutes played in the final term. Bloods by 7. Horbury to the pocket. Oh, a huge rise from White. Gave away a free kick.
Unrealistic.
Would have been an enormous mark if he could reel it in. It'll be taken by Barrett on the last line.
He'll spread it to wide across. Well, they've gone from back pocket to back pocket very often this afternoon. Ends up with Thrum. Thrum now beyond 50. Oh, it's an up and under kick. He's putting them under pressure. Reeves, he grabbed the footy, then lost it. Shoveled out by Jack Geary. He gives it to Burke. That's Harrison Burke. Hurried kick by Thrum out of the pack and puts it out of bounds. Might be, in fact, over the full. It is. And this will get South Bendigo with another chance to bring it forward.
Sandhurst going to run out winners at Tannery Lane, Johnny. 11-13-79 to Strathfield, say 7-6-48. 31 points the lead of the Dragons.
Isaiah Miller of the Bloods puts it shallow inside forward 50. They set themselves. Pack forms. It spills beyond 50. Johnson of the Dogs. Handballs over the top looking for Geary. Reeves dives at the football. He's been good in this second half of this game, and they tie him up and we'll have a ball up. Across half forward, the Bloods attack. They're attacking to the Maple Street end. They lead 76-69. 22 minutes gone, final term.
Still about 4 minutes on the clock, according to the timekeepers next door, so there's still plenty of time for Golden Square here if good enough. Sun's starting to set behind us in the grandstand or the club rooms on the Wade Street side of the ground. Shadows lengthening across the oval here at Golden Square. South Bendigo by 7 points, 11-10 to 10-9. It's been played in close confines here in this second half, both on the scoreboard and out there on the green stuff. Keck dives on the football. Couple of dogs surround him. And we'll have another ball up at the front point of the centre square. Compston and Cameron, been an entertaining duel this afternoon. The South big man's probably had the better of it since quarter time. Clearing kick for the Dogs out toward Monty on the Peter Moroney wing. Tumbles his kick up the line looking for Murley. Langley stood in front of him. Takes the mark. He's a little bit sore getting up as he moves it on to Torpy.
Gave it to Torpy, who kicked it long. Torpy's been great this afternoon. Cameron got his hands on the footy. Reeves trying to, well, make a path that didn't exist. But, geez, he's been hard at the footy.
South backline come through again.
Yeah, and
repelling everything.
You're just sensing it's starting to slip as Horbury takes possession. He'll now give it as a good handball to a teammate. That was Brooks. Brooks will go inside forward 50. They're looking to build here, the Bloods, but it spills out. The Dogs are going to bring it the other way. A long kick to the wing. Good strike. Is that mark paid? It has been. And the mark's been paid to Eaton.
Eaton rolls onto his right boot. Looks for an option inside the 50. Reeves is running back with the flight. Van Human up to meet him. Now away to Hartley. 55 out from goal for the Dogs. It finds Geary. 40 out. The skipper steadies and delivers. Jack Geary with his third. And that is a captain's goal if ever there was one. Oh, he knows how to stand up in the big moments, and he drags it back to a point. 11-9-75 to the Bloods, 11-10-76. There could yet be a twist in the tail at Wade Street. 24 minutes played, final term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Square with the numbers from the back line to the wing to the forward line. Had just outnumbered South End, and yeah, Geary, geez, you bloody can't buy that experience, can you?
We've had the close one all day, and it's right at the death, and it still is. From the ball up, Hickman won it out of the middle for the Dogs. He'll send them forward. Save Murley had a lot of the footy. He was interfered with. Now, he's 70 metres out from goal. They trail by a point. He's kicking to the city end. Darkening skies. Zave Murley. He'll just put it up. Well, it's not really the hot spot. It's in a nowhere possession. Punch towards the boundary line by Leon Cooper. They've got the numbers and they're running. They'll send it long down the wing now. The Bloods with Brock Harvey. He takes a mark and he'll slow it down. He'll come inboard. And who's he got on? He's got Haddo. Haddo, now he'll slow it down just in front of the centre circle.
Surveys the field from the centre of the ground. Flares it wide for Torpy, the left footer. Hooks it around inside forward 50. Coe had a good piece of that. Shelton dropping back into the hole takes the mark. And the Dogs' defence this time stands tall. Moves it on to Harry Burke. Needs to be quick. Got the handball away. Turned it over. Horbury was clever. Underground. Great tackling work from Liam Barrett. Locked up his opposition player there in McCaig. And a ball up. Just inside forward 50. Bloods in attack. They lead by a point. 25 and a half gone final term.
2 minutes remaining in this game as it's a cross half forward for the Bloods, but emerging it'll be the Dogs. A long kick to the wing. Good mark, Johnson. Johnson of the Dogs. They need to settle and show composure. To Torpy. Zave Murley, big punch from the back. And did it well for the Dogs and put it over the boundary line, centre wing, and we'll have another ball in. 1 point margin, 76 playing, 75. The Bloods lead with under 2 minutes remaining.
It's really poised on a nice edge. South have not won here since 2009. They've lost their past 12 games at Wade Street by an average of 53 as Oscar White runs down Tom Strosh and then gets flipped on his back for his trouble. South fans want 50. They will not get it. Oscar White's been tremendous in this second half. Puts his left foot kick to half forward. Allen goes upstairs, but Jonathan Coe read it better in flight. He wants to move it on quickly. That's cut off by McCaig, but Dogs have numbers with the footy. Looping handball across the centre of the ground for Vaz. Now to the run of Jake Thrum. Goes on the left boot inside forward 50. Van Humen a hand to it. Looking for Brett. Goes to ground his hair. Brett dives on top of him. Jeff Williamson says mine. Ball up, 45 out from the square goal. 27 played last term. Bloods by a point and clinging on.
The Dogs, they will get another chance at it. There must be a minute remaining now. Contested ball, 40 metres out. It's bobbing around, no clear possession. Jack Geary tried to get his hands on the football. It'll move towards the boundary line in a rolling pack. I think the coach Horbury did well, disguised it and puts it over the boundary line, and we'll have a ball in. 70 metres out from goal. It's a 1 point margin. They'll get one shot at it here. You'd think the Dogs, they need to win possession. They won't. Cameron puts it towards the boundary line, and the Dogs have been defeated by the Bloods. The Bloods win the first time, as Joel said, at this ground since 2009, and what a fitting end to a super game. The Bloods 11-10-76 have defeated Golden Square 11-9-75.
What a contest that was. It ebbed and flowed. We had high scoring in the third term, and then it slowed down to an absolute grind at the end of the game. And for the first time in 13 attempts, South Bendigo win at Wade Street. And they beat Golden Square 11-10-76 to the Dogs 11-9-75. They moved to 3-1 on the young campaign. And they set up a massive top three clash with Sandhurst at the QEO next week. In fact, that goes to Harry Trott next week.
Harry Trott, yes, and we'll be there, yes.
So it's going to be a massive game at the new home of the South Bendigo Footy Club. And that is about as significant a win as they will have had in the Nathan Horbury era. Of course, making it to finals last year, they won that final against the Dragons, but winning away at Golden Square, one of the toughest tests in Bendigo football. And the Bloods have come through today in flying colours in what, Nick Churchill, was a tremendous game, and particularly a great second half.
Wow.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how.